Just some Fs in chat, right quick. Thanks for the Fs, y'all. But, oh God, no way. Dude, as we come back, are you kidding me, mate? Are you kidding me? All right. All right, all right, all right. All right, I see you, Hoya. I see you, Hoya TV. How does this keep happening, mate? Come on. So, gotta get rid of this stream now again. Y'all know how it is. Every single time that it demands that we basically pay extra or download the client, we say hell the hell to the no. We will not allow such to take place. There we go. We're back online. This is so ridiculous. But it's actually kind of fun to have to keep doing this, honestly. It's stupid, it's ridiculous. I don't feel great about it, but it's entertaining at the very least. But we're rocking right now. And let us hope that this one, let's hope that this game ends quickly, yeah? Let's just hope that. And let's just turn off the Chinese chat. Emo. At this point in time, it does seem like that Shadow Fiend can still get to like level 25, right? You can still get to the really scary part of the game. Not over by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, you've got this Ollie ET as well, rolling around with the Aghanim Scepter. And the thing about having this item for this hero is every single time that he does decide that he wants to make use of it, he's able to run and get so deep into the... Oh my God, look at Emo! Emo just got solo killed by Monet. What's Monet got in his inventory? Daedalus Skadi now. Jeez Louise, that was a lot of damage. If you're Shadow Fiend, your most powerful hero on the map, the most farmed hero on the map, just gets solo brought down that easily? Good God. How are you supposed to ever play Dota here? The primary problem, though, and the real struggle for the side of Team IG is going to come in the form of what do you do now that you don't have a Shadow Fiend? There's a high ground to defend, and he doesn't have buyback. They have buyback on pretty much nobody. The Elder Titan has access to it, and now the jump forward, they get the quick kill onto Fly. Look at Monet go. XXX with his BKB active, able to chomp down Kaka. Monet didn't even get forward himself to find that kill. Burning Barrage, Burning Army is all you need. JT, he knows that this game is most likely over. He knows it's going to be difficult for them to do anything about this. And there we go. They call it GG, well played. It is in the books. The game is done. And we see the side of Team Aster being able to secure themselves the victory here. All right, okay, I should definitely get rid of that screen. Yo, that's... Woo! Yeah, that would be pure copyright if I have their panel up on. Well, there is one bright side about the game being over, though. Is that we do now, at the very least... Well, if Dota would be kind enough to oblige me. Oh, we should soon have... There we go. Match details. That's what we want. Look, y'all. We got through it. We got to the end of the game. We got to the end of this game. What a bit of a shit show, honestly. That was quite bizarre. That was quite bizarre. Not in a good way either. Not in the way that we would prefer, but we did it. We made it. We made it. Yeah. Just want to quickly close this stream. There we go. The thing about this game, right? And the thing about how things panned out. I mean, we couldn't see things from about 20 minutes in. It's been a long time since we were in the game properly. But the thing we did see, and the thing we were able to still keep track of, is IG failed to be able to not just match the pace with Monet, but threaten him realistically at all. Look at their, like, how they've been playing this game. It seems like this BKB, they just were never able to deal with it. Only died twice, dealt 42,000 hero. Dude, that's so much damage. That's an insane amount of damage. Yeah, Aster won the series. And yeah, Jireen, thank God. Next series, we can actually do it inside Dota TV. Because, yeah, stream sniping sucks. Stream sniping sucks. Team Aster, though, at the very end of the day, one thing I love about how they played this game is they made sure to never have Monet be either underfarmed or the only one that's far forward, right? White Album would happily throw away his life. Happily. He's like, I'm going in. I'm going to drain someone's damage and I'll die, but it's cool. By the time I die, you won't have enough to deal with Monet afterwards. We saw so many times Fly, JT, and Emo able to get the Ravage off onto multiple targets. Fly, and Emo trying to chomp down Monet, but provided he has just one hero nearby him, he just turns, Burning Barrage, boom, and making sure that he gets the damage out. It was a pretty sick performance from Monet here. Like, he 100% hard carried this game. This is one of those, you don't get to see these kind of jobs anymore, where the one player puts the whole team on his back, and he's like, let's go, let's go, let's go. But yeah, that's going to be the victory, the dub, that gets claimed at the end of the day for the side of Team Aster. It sucks, you know, if you are right now an IG fan, but it is what it is. It is what it is. This was the only result that was going to end up happening. They end up with this W, they end up with the win, and crucially, they end up in a situation where now that they are in the winner bracket final, there's a lot more tape to be able to watch. They came through and came back in a difficult situation. You know, their momentum would, a lot of other teams would have lost composure after losing game number 2. Hell, in this game, that death onto White Album, where he got caught by the JT Tide, a lot of mid players would have just tilted head over heels after that, but they kept it in. They kept it in. And they held it down, and they walk away with the victory. So Team Aster, they get the 2-1. It's unfortunate that we couldn't get to watch it fully within the map itself. However, it became clear what was happening, right? Even through the 360p stream from Huya TV. Anyway, now we're done with the first series. That was just the first one. A full BO3, and we haven't even finished the day. We're only at the halfway mark. Because the next series we're going to have on the table will be the side of Vici Gaming taking on RNG. One of those two teams going to join Team Aster in the winner bracket final. The other one joining IG in the lower bracket and having to fight and claw your way back into a podium finish. To see which one of those two teams will be able to make it, stick around. Don't go anywhere. Make sure that you're following. Actually, listen. For being able to get us to the game before the people on BTS, right? The people who are being paid for their job, for their labor, right? You have to, if you are not following, it's your obligation now. You have to follow. You got to put some props on your boy. You got to put some shout out on your homie. Real talk though, seriously, I really do appreciate everybody who has come through and followed today. Shout out again to Jeeves for raiding early in the morning, Halbert for coming through a little bit later, and everybody that came with them. I hope you had fun. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves thus far. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you think. Can, of course, do that in the chat. Make sure that you're also following my Twitter. And if you've had a good enough time, you can also decide to become a supporter of the stream. Can be like Johnny and throw in some bits. Can be like Ginger Boogie and gift out some subscriptions. Get one for yourself in the meantime as well. Or you can decide to become a one-time donator. Be like the Charging Spirit Cow who put in some scratch in the last month. And of course, you can decide to become a patron on Patreon, which is also deeply, deeply appreciated. Although I'll be honest and say that the last month and a half or so, my content uploading has been terrible. Personal reasons, it is what it is. But we're getting back into it. We're coming back. We're regaining the momentum lost due to death and maladies. It is what it is. So with all that being said, grab some water because this game took a while. So we don't have that much time before the next series. I wager probably another 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20 at the max. But keep it locked on the channel. And when we return, when we go live again, we will be back with some hype. Vici versus RNG coming up. Congrats to Team Aster. Thank you to y'all. And when we return, more amazing I-League and inside Dota TV, Dota 2 action.
Allow me to demonstrate the skill of Shaolin, the special technique of shadow boxing.
After a long wait, we're back. We're back. A lot longer than I thought they'd take, honestly, given the issues that were inherent in game or series one. But here we go. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here to Snakecasting. Got ourselves some more Dota I-League action continuing in the playoffs today, as we do now proceed to witness Vici Gaming taking on the side of RNG. Which one of these two teams is going to be joining Team Aster in the winner bracket final? Let's find out. Vici playing on the Dire side, RNG on the Radiant. Interesting things about the way that this draft has been panning out. Early on, of course, we see, this is China. Coddle, Nyx, both banned. Other side, of course, we see the removal of the Sven, the Lycan, the pickup of this Lina on the side of RNG. I see that most of the time that people have second pick. If you have second pick, then you have to ban the Monkey King if you want to pick Tidehunter. But if you do have first pick, you can pick your initial hero and then ban the Monkey King in the second phase rather than in phase one.
10 seconds.
Vici, they came back for DK Lion. Have not seen DK that much at all. Like, it's been a bit of a rare one, honestly. The presence of this hero has been quite iffy. Hasn't necessarily been a reliable thing. One thing that I'm wondering here, though, is where this DK is going. We've, of course, seen many different iterations of how you run this. What's the way that you stack up appropriately? In this game, I suspect this is the old 11 hero, but we'll see what the decision making is going to be. By the way, a bit of trivia about Vici Gaming. Until the point where they get to TI, maybe even beyond that, they will be having QQQ coaching as well, playing in tandem with Fenrir in the support role in that regard. I think he's just on loan though, yeah. I'm not sure for how long he's going to be on loan, but QQQ, and the reason why it's pertinent to mention this, right? This is the same QQQ that almost won TI twice with PSG LGD. The same QQQ that made eHome made eHome really good. Like, for a while, eHome looked really good with QQQ in the coaching position. So I'm pretty sure that we can expect some great things from the game here today. Vici will have been getting more evolution as time goes on. So I'm excited to see what they're going to bring to the table. Omni. We don't have Sven with Omni Knight, which has been the primary partner with these two heroes. The Omni Sven together. Just having the Sven alone doesn't always seem to cut it. Just having Omni alone doesn't seem to cut it all the time. But this hero has been getting picked more and more often here in China. I don't know what the partner is going to be. Do we have Medusa? Potentially Leshrac I've seen once or twice. I've seen it with Slock, but of course that gets taken away by RNG. And speaking of RNG, they've gone in now for this Rubik pick, the Grandamegas. I'm thinking and I'm wondering on this one, right? What do we have? Okay, DP, right. So I was actually thinking and wondering, like, where's our physical damage coming from for RNG? And whether or not we're going to have it come from the mid lane or from the off lane. Or from the safe lane, rather, sorry. It does seem to be coming in from the mid lane. But DP, big team fight ultimates, though. This is a way for them to be able to secure buildings. It's still possible that this hero is the off-laner. And the reason why I say that is that they could still be trying to angle for like a potential position 4 Tidehunter, pos 5 Rubik. You put Lina into the mid lane, and then DP plays off, depending on what the matchups are. But it can sometimes be difficult to think about how teams are going to play with that very 5D chess style. Sometimes just easier to play things as they seem on paper. And it's not like Felix Schaber has, it's not like he hasn't played really well on Lina anyway. So it's fine. Generally speaking, when I see the support Lina in China, I expect it from IG. What do we have for the God King, though? Vici Gaming decided to ban out the Terrorblade. They've gone in for Razor in their mid lane. So Ori Razor, we just saw Razor have some great success. It was playing into a very different lineup, though, very different team. And it had a different supporting cost for itself. I think it mattered a lot that that game XXX was playing Lycan to be able to always close down the target that's being leashed and ran down. In this game, DK will need the early Blink Dagger to do the same kind of impact, although they do have the Lion for massive amounts of burst damage to help them in that regard. Both teams actually have some pretty decent magical burst. Lina Rubik on the one side, Lion Razor on the other. You know, BKBs might be necessary at some point. And RNG, an old classic here. The God King Morphling makes complete sense with all the hard carries being removed. No Sven, no Lycan, no Monkey King, no Slog, no Bloodseeker if you want to play that safe lane. No Terrorblade, no Arc Warden. None of that good stuff. Also, it seems RNG think that this Razor is going into the safe lane because they're banning heroes from the off lane here. It's an interesting read. I'm not sure I agree though. I mean, I have seen Poyoyo play a ton of Razor, but personally, I feel like I want to see Poyoyo on a hero that like farms harder than this Razor hero does. Especially now that he's playing this into Morphling. Let's see what the idea is going to be from Vici. Where are we going? Where are we going? What do we have? What do we have? Got TA. All right. So this could be safe lane TA. I would prefer that. All right. Poyoyo is playing Razor. Ori TA. Okay, let's go. Ori Templar Assassin. Let's do it. Let's rock. Let's see what they're going to be able to bring to us here. I suppose one of the big things about this particular hero, when you have a situation that you're playing TA like this, you can take over the game and buy space for Poyoyo such that Poyoyo doesn't actually have to be the hero that is the centerpiece of the draft. He can just be the anchor point in the middle of the fights, erstwhile Ori is the one that's actually cleaning up the heroes, soaking up all the farm on the map. You don't need as many resources to be successful as Razor. Also, it seems like my initial intuition was correct, except with one thing. I anticipated that they'd be putting the Death Prophet into the offlane and Tidehunter support. It's the other way around. Tidehunter is the offlaner here, but the DP is going to be playing the 5 position. And they will be promoting this Lina to a mid laner. All right. As I said, I do prefer a mid Lina over support Lina. I feel like you just get so much out of that hero. Although, in this game, it's going to be a bit iffy. You are playing the Lina TA matchup. We've seen this break in various directions. Often the way it breaks is the way you would expect it to break, right? You just think about the mechanics of the two heroes. Yeah, you're not expecting that this Lina does well in that laning phase. However, with that being said, TA is of late. This matchup's been weird. It's been bizarre. Oh, Rubik mid. Nah. Not Rubik mid. It's not Rubik mid. Alrighty. So, now that we have our cast of characters, we know who is playing what, we know how this is going to roll. The question is, what are the lanes going to look like? And what's the game going to look like? And to answer those questions, we get ourselves into game number 1. RNG taking on the side of Vici Gaming. Let's see what they got. Poyoyo might decide to start the game from the mid lane, but Ori's also in this position as well.
Oh, I see. Are those little...
Ori, like I said, should be favored in this matchup versus Lina, but I've legitimately seen Lina stomp the matchup as well. Like, badly. Really, really badly, where it's like not even close. So, it wouldn't be the most atypical thing in the world for that to occur. And I don't know how this is gonna go. Another game for Red Panda to achieve -4. Lol. Poor Red Panda. Jireen, what did Red Panda do to you, cuz? What did Red Panda do to you, fam? That's what I want to know. What happened with you and Red Panda? Real talk though, this is not going to be the easiest game to be playing a Death Prophet in the 5 position. Especially since they're going to need that hero to do relatively well. In large measure, because the silence on that DP, instrumental in this game. DP silence in this game, game changing. And above and beyond that, you know, for the earlier game portion, before Morphling actually wants to put himself closer to towers, before we have this Lina feeling like she has any kind of reliable right-click threat, we're going to have a point in the game where they're sort of struggling to push and pressure buildings. And Red Panda will make that easier for you. Hell, he'll make it possible for you to push two sides of the map at once. So they'll need this Death Prophet to have a good start to the game. So far, though, it's okay. Supporting the God King here, who's playing against Old 11 and PYW. The God King. Poyoyos have support from this Omni Knight in the top lane. This is going to be an interesting one. The support Omni Knight onto Razor. I suppose the rationale for this is that if you have the Heavenly Grace and potential for purification, it allows you to run so much further forward using your static link. Often we see that Poyoyo, who we'll talk about in a sec, who might die here as first blood, he's eaten an Anchor Smash and a Fade Bolt. However, they're going to run out of damage between Flyby and Felix Shaba, so they will be unable to finish off this kill. He's your favorite POS 6 player. Ah, lol. Yeah, Red Panda is of the ilk that he's prepared to completely sacrifice himself for the sake of the game. Unfortunately, sometimes he appropriates the Pylai Dire school of playing Dota. Top lane. You know who actually Red Panda sort of reminds me of? He sort of reminds me of Fly, in the sense that Fly was not a good player for a long time, yo. Like, he was very good strategically, but in terms of what he would do on the map, he'd just like go hard feed on POS 6 or whatever. There were certain heroes he was great at, but it took a long time for Fly to develop into the player and character that he is right now. Once he got there, then you started to, like, the playstyle started to make sense, especially in terms of playing on the greedier lineups he's found himself on in the last few years, where there's certain players who want to soak up everything on the map. I think Red Panda, you know, has had his experiences with Elephant here on RNG. I was actually quite worried about RNG with the inclusion of Red Panda and losing Super. And I think it's definitely a loss that is keenly felt. But slowly but surely, I've been building some kind of hope for the squad. Ironically enough, a lot of it coming from Red Panda's position. This top lane. The thing we were going to talk about earlier when it came to this Razor was how, generally speaking, as Razor gets any kind of magic immunity or sustain, it's so much easier to put yourself in the middle of the fray without fear. And it is the kind of hero that needs to be played in that style to be successful. Bottom lane, the God King. PYW thought he almost caught God King before he could trigger off the morph, but this is God King morphling. That's not going to happen. LSA from D-Stones will enable him to take this water rune. Top rune, of course, was secured by this DY. Snap, you're actually right, Jareen. Yeah, that like, since Red Panda came back, yeah. Since Red Panda came back, I mean, White Album left, DD's gone, but D-Stone's in his place. Yeah, actually, you're completely correct. This is the original SAG. I didn't even think of that properly. Thanks for bringing us that highlight. Also, speaking of Sparking Arrow Gaming, they're a team we need to support next season, given that Ponlo, someone I know personally and who's a pretty great guy, who has a bright Dota future ahead of him, has recently joined the team in the 4 position. Bottom lane, speaking of 4 positions, PYW. Finally, his patience pays off, sets up for the initiation onto the Morphling, and they will be able to secure that kill. Morph is down, gone. And a big first blood to be able to pick up on the Lion. He also comes middle to find D-Stones with the Earth Spike there. There will be no situation where this Lina actually dies, but also look at what Lina's doing right now. And Alina is bullying this TA a little bit in this matchup. Again, things that used to not happen reliably, but still nowadays Dota's in an interesting place. The Dota 2 laning phase in particular is in a very weird place. Bottom, Old 11 might end up losing his life here. Spirit Siphon doing quite a number on him. Crypt Swarm, oh my gosh, misses by like 50 units. Will keep Old 11 alive, and with having access to the 2 points into Dragon's Blood and a salve from his support, he's going to be A-okay. Completely fine from that situation. Bottom. Red Panda might die here. UIW have gotten the damage out, but Old 11 now needs to fight. They get the Hex going as well, and God King cannot dual damage fast enough to finish off the Old 11 DK. And more so than that, they even end up losing the Courier here. RNG. Kind of in a position right now where they are able to put a lot of control on these lanes, except for bottom. Bottom is a bit of a rough place to be, but both mid and top seems to be going quite well. Tidehunter not really afraid of playing into the Razor's face, despite the static link. And of course, we've seen that these Linas don't really care about who they're matched up against. They're going to win the match. Top, Poyoyo forced to activate the Eye of the Storm here. Fell down to less than half HP. Fortunately for him, DY on point with the teleport, will return to the lane, pop in the Heavenly Grace and the Purification, and Razor A-okay in that situation. The very scary thing though is how much farm Old 11 is getting. You sort of expect Tidehunter to be able to have such a good lane, but it's always scary when it's happening with a DK as well. Given that Tidehunter, you know, it's going to be a period of the game, you pop Ravage and then you just go off, do something else. Old 11, once he gets Blink, he's part of the gank squad. Gonna roll around this map, trying to find kills with his team. And they have the capability of doing so. For now, though, it's still all about trying to find farm. Both the God King and Poyoyo won't be involved for quite some time in the proceedings of this match. Gonna give some space towards Vici Gaming potentially to make a rotation with Ori. Now that Old 11 does have level 6 down bottom. The Lina can also rotate, but it's not as easy for her at this stage of the game. Unless she goes top, where they use the lifts to set up for an LSA and then into Laguna Blade. But that also requires really good positioning for the Rubik. And you have to be like basically right in front of the target. Bottom lane, God King. Doesn't actually have the morph. And they get the kill. The God King caught again for the second time in the game. And yeah, you have to get tipped. Yeah, they have to tip you. It's literally part of the rules of Dota 2 that if you get caught twice, dying in the same way in the lane, the enemy has to tip you.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Definitely they do the right thing there. Red Panda. Okay, waveform forward. Beautiful Earth Spike from PYW. I don't think Old 11 would have died anyway, but that covers him to ensure that it won't be the case. That's a pretty sick place to be playing like this. And the God King. Looks like he might be interested in getting himself an early Lincoln Sphere this game. Gets Herxed up again. There's going to be the Dragon Tail. Red Panda has been forced to level up the silence early on in the lane, but it'll certainly pay for itself without too much time passing. Top lane. Poyoyo trying to chase down Flyby. Has Eye of the Storm going. There's no Ravage to stop this, and there's no creeps to soak up the lightning hits. Vici Gaming. They pop the spells. Razor lunges forward. And that's what we were talking about earlier. If you have the protection of the Heavenly Grace, you feel fully free and empowered as the Razor to just lunge forward for your opponents. RNG don't really have the easiest counterplay for that. Hell, even popping Ravage would suck, given that it's a Heavenly Grace target, so they'll be barely stunned. Bottom. You do have the first big rotation, though, from this Lina. She's coming off from Flyby as well. They have the move forward. 4 heroes are here. Old 11. Gonna tank a lot of damage. Laguna Blade will come out. Flyby does not want to have to commit the Ravage. Might be forced to do so. Fortunately for him, D-Stones is fast enough to throw in the final right click. That'll bring down the life of this DK. Flyby didn't manage to get the tier 1 tower top, but still will come bottom. He'll have to occupy this part of the map. So we just have a pause. A pause. Small little pause as everybody just gonna try reset, think about what to do next. Lina not going for the usual BTs into BKB build. Instead going to have a Shadow Blade, potentially stopping over at Shadow Blade and then back into BKB, but nonetheless, this is an interesting one. Oh, I did not know this. Huh. While we were paused up, right, I was actually curious about who was QQQ's first team that he coached before he joined LGD. The first team QQQ coached before joining LGD and then going on to try and help with eHome, he coached Vici on their rise to getting top 2 at TI4. Flyby. Unfortunately, there's no TI on the cards for you, and there's just going to be death. Bye-bye. We have the unpause, and Vici Gaming immediately strike back by getting revenge in the bottom lane. Offlaner for offlaner traded. TA now wants to play directly in the face of the tower. But look at how fast they're able to push. D-Stones just makes it happen here towards this mid lane. We'll pour top with the BTs. And they can just apply this pressure. They're doing this without even needing to pop the Exorcism Ghosts. So they can save that spell either for a tier 2 or for a more important engagement. Hell, depending on the item build, they could even decide to use that on Roshan. And it looks like Tidehunter is going for the early Solar Crest. So once that is online, easy Rosh take just with those two heroes. Solar Crest, Ghost, bye-bye Aegis. Hold 11. Does he have his Blink Dagger just yet? Almost there. Rounding the corner towards having the item. Once it is online, should see a really big smoke from Vici. Well, maybe not actually. Look at this Lion. Lion's farming so well. And he's not that far away from having a blink of his own. So if he just gets further progress on this item, then you eventually get to a point where you have the double blink and you can reveal them simultaneously, which is an absurd power spike. It might even be triple blink. Okay, so either way, it's double blink between TA and DK. The question is, will it be triple? It might be a little bit too long to wait for the triple, but you're not really that concerned either, you know? It's not like you are playing against a core DP who right now is bearing down on your towers. You're, broadly speaking, out farming the opponent, so you can afford to be a little bit more delicate in your progression. That's a good joke, Julian. Landed on the wrong face. D-Stones. Personally, I've never liked D-Stones for like a long time. But he's doing well in this game. I think what probably doesn't help D-Stones is I'm a big believer in good names. And I've always had this feeling that there's like certain naming conventions that for some reason, it's not necessarily that it seems to lead to success, but you know, there's a reason why no one with a name like D-Stones is on top. You know, there's a certain acumen you have to have in both naming yourself and playing the game to get to the top. Remember, old 11 changed his name. He used to just be 11 for a long time. Since he became old 11, he's risen in stature. By a similar token, maybe he used to be amazing, changed his name to Somnus, became shit almost overnight. So D-Stones, hopefully as he continues to improve, he's also has a little bit of a whiteboard where he's workshopping some new names for himself. Flyby. Unfortunately, his name is fine, but the gank might be a bit of a problem. Gets off a Ravage that connects onto 3, but they nonetheless still have more than enough damage on Vici Gaming to bring him down. Quick kill. Ravage expended as well. I don't know why he used the Ravage. He should have just tanked his own death. Now they don't have access to the AoE spell. It looks like Vici Gaming having awareness of this. They're going to try and turn their attention towards the tier 1 middle. If Tidehunter still has Ravage now, Vici can't really make this move because he can just return, post up in front of them and say, okay, you don't have Finger of Death anymore. How are you going to stop me from defending this area? Red Panda's going to be forced to use the ghosts to try and zone them back, but it's not going to be enough. They still will get the tier 1 tower kill, and in fact, Red Panda still dies here from Poyoyo. They threw in the Laguna Blade from D-Stones, but it barely tickles any of these Vici heroes, and now Poyoyo, not scared, he's trying to run forward. He knows he has a protection from GA. He does get it. Blink forward by Ori. It's going to be a wonderful reveal by bringing down the Rubik there. Old 11 blinking forward yet again, coming across D-Stones, who's going to end up dying thanks to DY's purification. Flyby gets something back by dragging PYW into the grave as well. But unfortunately, that is only mere consolation. Eventually gets right-clicked down himself, turning this from a painful situation into an absolute disaster. You lose the tier 1, you lose 4 subsequent heroes, and you still triggered off the exorcism and get nothing from it. Etiri, listen. Maybe it's still amazing. So I don't know who the Somnus guy is. Somnus kind of washed and garbage, but maybe he's a god. If he ever goes back to that name, I have no doubts the day he does, it's gonna be amazing. Hell, even Eurus. Remember how good Paparazzi was? That Paparazzi guy was an absolute god. Eurus, meh. Yo, that fight has actually given them so much on the side of Vici Gaming. I was talking about them doing the double reveal on the Blink Daggers. Not only do they do that on the Tidehunter and then come back middle to secure the tower in the subsequent fight, that reveal has now given them Blink Dagger online as well. So triple Blink online, and they have BKB for the Razor. BKB with the additional backup of the Young Heavenly Grace. Such a big deal. Do y'all remember that old spell that Omni Knight used to have, Repel? That was, woo! That was something else. That was really something else. See PYW roaming forward. Gonna get brought down by the God King. Him and Red Panda getting some revenge for earlier proceedings in this game from the laning phase. The God King does have the Lincoln Sphere, so we're going a very old school build up. Lincolns into the E-Blade. This way, there is not going to be a Blink Hex coming out of the trees. It is still possible to get the stun out onto this hero. If Old 11 is the one that blinks forward to utilize the Dragon Tail stun to break the Lincoln Sphere, then you can still initiate from Fog with the Blink Hex from Lion. Just requires coordination from the team, but it's absolutely doable. So despite having this item, there's no safety that's currently felt by this Morphling in this game. Bye-bye. Does have the full Solar Crest now, and with Exorcism Ghost back online, I would actually like to see them smoking into the Roshan pit at some point. Even if they have D-Stones with them. I mean, look at the build D-Stones has gone for. They more than have the physical damage to take out the big man. Just requires them to have better vision on the map or to find a pick-off first. And it looks like they're going to pursue the latter option as they're stacking up here in the Radiant jungle. Potentially thinking about making a move somewhere. Unfortunately for them, their vision control is somewhat lacking. They don't see anybody. Red Panda will just go get rid of a Psionic Trap. And they really would like to be able to get into the pit, but not gonna happen. D-Stones is running around where PYW is. And they do throw down some preemptive vision to make sure that they can scout out these forward movements from RNG. Flyby needs to have access to this Blink Dagger. It is necessary. RNG have done a good job of slowing down the pace of the game, though. They were being ran over a little bit, but they've reset appropriately. Haven't found themselves falling prey to these Blink initiations, despite the fact that it's so easy right now for Vici. And Ori, very, very strong with the trio of items expected from a TA at this point in the game. The D-Lance, the Blink, the Deso. Would like to be able to accelerate herself even farther by getting some of these kills. And most importantly, also being able to depress the progress of this Lina. Look how closely RNG is playing. They're going to smoke now. They want to go in. They have Ravage. They don't have Blink just yet, but they also have... Look who goes bottom. It's D-Stones. Going to start the fight from deep underneath the tier 2 tower. They might be walking into a trap, though. Let's see how this goes. Exorcism goes. Popped out by Red Panda. There's the Ravage from Flyby. Onto 3. LSA catches the Omni Knight and TA. They've already brought down DY. They end up losing the Rubik early on, though. Now, this fight's going to be difficult. Red Panda getting led down by Poyoyo. Poyoyo does manage to get the kill, but that will cost his own life. Ends the exorcism, but becomes a ghost himself in the process. D-Stones, though, didn't escape the fight in time. PYW able to leap back, unload the salvo of spells to bring down that Lina. Flyby trying to help out on the far side of the fight, but will find himself having bitten off much more than he could ever chew. One more melt strike from Ori will secure the kill onto him. And God King, recognizing he can do a little more to assist. They managed to find some very critical kills in that fight, but Vici Gaming, they do not lose Old 11, they do not lose PYW, they do not lose Ori. And the 3 heroes with the Blink Daggers are able to come back and turn that entire fight around. D-Stones, I will bet you all the money in the world that right now D-Stones regrets not having BKB. There's a reason why the build-up of bots into BKB straight up is so standard. If they have BKB there, I think that's a markedly different fight. But you saw that D-Stones was sort of forced to play the edges of the fight, knowing full well that a solitary stun would mean the death of him. The very least does have the Silver Edge now, so they have an absurd amount of additional damage. But they'll definitely need some degree of survivability on this Lina. And still not opting for this item. Going Skadi next. Dude, there's a Lion. There's a DK. Buy BKB. And Morphling's not going to buy BKB. Dude, they're actually going to play a full game against Lion without any BKBs. That's something. I mean, I suppose the rationale is that, look, we've got Kraken Shell on the Tidehunter. Morphling is Morphling. He has a Lincoln Sphere as well. We shouldn't, strictly speaking, need BKBs. But, trust when I say Vici celebrating right now the lack of the magical immunity that will be inherent on the RNG lineup. Red Panda, to be fair, BKB would not have protected you from the death you just suffered. The rest of the team, though, from RNG does manage to flee the area. In the meantime, also completing the full Blink Dagger for the Tidehunter. I agree with y'all that Vici should have this in the bag. Jireen, that was a special occasion, huh? For those of you who don't know what Jireen's talking about, there was a game where the God King was playing Spectre of all heroes and ended up getting a very early Heaven's Halberd on the hero. And it was the most genius item pick. It won the game. Like, he would not have won that game if he didn't go Halberd. It was amazing. And this game actually has some viable utility for that item. Would actually love to see somebody pick it up. Great against TA. Can be very useful against Razor as well. Certainly would not be an item that would lead you astray. The question, though, the primary question is, how do you actually get damage afield? This TA is continuing to get stronger and stronger. She has BKB. Once she has that Daedalus, she's not only outputting more damage than you, but she's more protected than you are as well. D-Stones changing his mind yet again from the Skadi, opting for the Shiva's Guard instead as the item to take the defensive slot that would normally be occupied by the BKB. Now they're going to try to take a fight here. Flyby has Blink Ravage. They don't have the most positive vision at present. They are smoked. They would love to be able to catch them while they are unawares, but they're posting forward Ori with the Aegis of the Immortal in tow, making sure that the dangerous and scariest hero to go on is the only hero that's currently visible. Red Panda just throwing in a Crypt Swarm just to announce himself here on the Death Prophet, but they don't feel like he can do anything on the side of RNG. They'll allow them to take the tower. Not going to take the needless risk of jumping in onto the TA.
Radiant's top tower is under attack, and not in a good way.
TA now stealing away some of their triangles from. And they get the drag back with the lift. That did not go as expected. Red Panda proc the ghosts. Gosh, and they don't have Blink Dagger, do they, on Red Panda? Sadly not. Oh, gosh. Why did they proc Ghost so soon, though? Oh, so bizarre. Now Vici Gaming are aware that there's no Ghost, so they're going to try force something somewhere. Flyby. He is the one that gets caught top. He's dragging the whole team with him. 45 seconds without having access to the buyback. This might mean a tier 3 tower, potentially further damage on a structure. And, oh, the God King. Uh-oh, the God King in a bit of danger here. They pop the Linkins. Will they have the damage? Ori, fortunately for the God King, had blinked towards middle. Comes and shows his face right now. God King blinking away, trying to get out with the TP. Will be able to do so. Felix Shaba, not as lucky. And he'll take a tumble. Again, this costs Vici Gaming nothing. Old 11 triggers out the Dragon form. And here they come, looking for a tier 2 down middle. Only 27 minutes into the game, and Vici Gaming have now claimed all the outer real estate.
I would like to point out that Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Dire's bottom tower is under
Oh boy. Oh boy. Vici Gaming, 10k gold lead right now. They've taken the outpost. They still have the Roche, not for much longer though. It's going to expire in about 15 seconds, but by the time it does, look at the progression of this TA. She's almost in the interim, finished a full Daedalus. Hey! Clash the Jäger! The Jägermeister, the Maestro himself. How you doing, G? What's going on, fam? Have you been finding the Obots just like hanging out and chilling everywhere? Vici? They get dragged back on old 11. Sadly, not going to be able to actually kill him just yet. Ori also rolling forward with the status resistance. Thanks to the Heavenly Grace. We'll give him enough time for RNG to actually assess if they want to take this fight. And the answer is a resounding no. No, 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 no. We'd love to Blink Ravage everybody and burst the target, but actually fight an engagement? We'd rather not. A fight's coming though, whether they like it or not. 2 heroes caught with the Earth Spike, and the God King didn't get off the morph. The God King is gone. No buyback for him. Flyby almost got brought down as well, and is actually gonna die thanks to the cleave hit coming in from Ori. Are you kidding? Okay, hold up, hold up. Did Ori hit a Sentry Ward to kill the Titanhunt? No way, no way. I need to see that again. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Let's see where Ori is at. So Ori throws in the right click. Ah, no, just chase them normally. Just chase them up the hill. All right, cool. That's fine. You cannot disjoint Meld Strike, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, and my NB comrades. So once it is coming, it is coming. No Tidehunter, no Morphling, no buyback for either, and now no Ghosts either. We have an ultra kill for the Ori Templar Assassin as he removes Red Panda from the game. Vici Gaming, the clarity of purpose in their draft and in their play, certainly paying dividends at this point. 14k gold lead, experience lead more than 20,000. And the critical buybacks will not come out. So they're going to be able to claim the full set of racks. This might also lose them old 11 though, who dove a little bit too far forward. But no, he's actually set up a trap. They go in and kill Felix Sharba. D-Stone's going to be next as well. Easy kill for Ori. Just TP's out in front of their faces. So will Poyoyo. And he will get the interrupt though from the God King thanks to the adaptive strike. It's an open question whether or not they get this kill, however. Ravage is committed. BKB, one Poyoyo is used with the Heavenly Grace. So PYW will die, but you drew a Ravage towards yourself to lose your life. Hashtag worth in that situation. Ultimately, still a ton of gold for the God King for bringing down old 11, but the real important targets for Vici all were able to retreat safely. DUI. Gonna end up getting taken out here. The God King. Very nice kill onto the Omni Knight there. At the very least, they get something. They have to run to the other side of the base to get that something, but it's something. So a lot more gold for God King than he had pre that fight, but Vici Gaming still the ones that claimed the vital real estate. Still the ones that have Ori right now looking pretty much unstoppable. Don't think he's actually gonna die anymore in this game. Almost level 25 on the Templar Assassin. And DK just popped 20, so all three of their cores are level 20 plus. RNG still have Morphling to catch up to 20. And Lina's the only one that occupies that role right now. She did end up going for the additional Fury Soul Stacks, which makes obvious sense with her build, focusing as much on right click as it does. Vici find themselves unable to chase any targets, but they don't really care. They're just waiting for the next Roche. They have some psionic traps, I imagine, inside the pit to alert them to the Roshan's presence. RNG decide to smoke up from inside the base. They can recognize how far behind they are, and they can also recognize that this game is sliding further and further away from them. It only becomes harder to pursue going forward. As soon as humanly possible, they want to try and get something proactive on the map, and they're gonna smoke up. Regrettably for them though, Vici Gaming, perfect game sense. Oh, even better than perfect game sense. They scan on the right target, they throw a DK illusion to distract them, and they force out the usage of the ghosts. I believe that they also waveform forward with the morph and E-bladed it, right? Yeah, they used everything. Well, not the spells from Lina or Tide, but it's not a great look what has ended up taking place. And Vici, now not having to fear the exorcism ghosts, will feel the full freedom of going into the Roshan pit and taking this for themselves. RNG are trying to rush to this area of the map as fast as they can, but they're too late. The Aegis is gone. Vici Gaming have put it back into the hands of this Templar Assassin. Ooh, that's something big. The Arcane... Oh, Swift Blink, excuse me, not Arcane Blink. It's going to be delayed now because Felix Sharba did manage to find and kill the courier. Okay, so that's 3 minutes without this pretty big item. Regrettably, there is still Blink for the TA overall, but it's something. At this point in the game, what you take is anything. As for example, Vici will take it that they only lose the Rubik on this one. They're like, yo, several heroes rotate, but they only kill Rubik. Awesome, dude. Although that also gives the 5th finger stack charge to our Lion. So Finger of Death is a pretty major spell now. Vici Gaming now finally feeling ready with the ancient Black Dragon of Old 11 of putting themselves on the higher ground yet again. Aegis in tow. Should be easy to make this push. They get Red Panda stunned up. They want to be able to kill the DP early, but here's Flyby jumping in. 5 heroes caught inside the Ravage, but they just don't have the follow-up. Where is the God King? The God King finally here, but he wasn't here at the critical moment. He immediately gets hexed up and burst with the Finger of Death. Does buy back, but it's a bit too late. Red Panda down to half of his HP, even less. The double damage rune of this Templar Assassin will now finish off D-Stones. They get a double kill for Poyoyo. Triple make that. They do eventually kill Old 11 in the meantime. And Red Panda does buy back, but buys back and realizes that it's in vain because he'll die back almost instantly. Where was the God King during the 5-hero Ravage? The big damage dealer simply was not there. And because he wasn't, they had nothing to supply into that big AoE area. No way to defend the high ground, and GG well played is called. Vici Gaming will take game number 1. RNG don't even get to 10 kills. Woof! A little bit of a clinic here from the Vici lineup. Yo, Ori, 1308 on the TA. 28k damage. Like, look at the GPM. 742 GPM. 855 XPM from the hero. Just, yeah. Poyoyo was poised to have a similar high-level performance. Unfortunately, did die that one time, but Ori, literally a perfect game. Just perfect TA game. There's a reason why oftentimes you want to pick Lina, you'd ban TA. But yo, she really owned this game. Ori just did everything right. But their success started a lot earlier than just Ori dominating on the TA. The success, personally for me, started from the laning phase. Old 11 and PYW won the game for them. Made sure that the God King, from jump, how many times did he die early on? I think like twice or something, right? Let's see. He died twice by 10 minutes, yeah. And in the same way. And they've just prevented him from being able to actually find farm on the hero at that point. I mean, compare and contrast that similar... Okay, to be fair, Poyo didn't have the best start either. But he wasn't dying. That's the thing. He's not dying. He's not getting as much gold as he wants, but he's not losing his life either. And it just makes it a lot more difficult to maintain your progress in this game when there's always that risk of death. And sure, he doesn't die much after that point, but it sets him back because it requires him to go for the first item Lincoln Sphere. And there's no other option. He has to buy that. I think also I didn't like the itemization from D-Stones. I really feel they needed a BKB. They needed a BKB on this hero. Flyby also wasn't really able to perform that well in the game post the laning phase. But it's not really his fault either. Every time he could find a Ravage, there's no real hero from Lina and Morphling who could reliably help him burst one of the targets, because Morphling had to start off in a more defensive realm, and Lina built for more pure right click rather than to buttress some of her rotation potential early on. If she had like earlier BKB, I could have seen some of those early ganks working out a bit better, but turns out not to be the case. So RNG now down 1 game, and Vici got too big. Vici really got too big. But was he there at the end? I literally didn't even see him. I didn't even feel his presence at all, if he was there at the end of that last fight. I don't know, y'all. This game was, woof. Vici put on a clinic. Vici really demonstrated that they are, by some margin, the better team in this one. And that they should be, if all else is equal, they should always be able to find the victory here over the side of RNG. Based on what we saw in this game, based on how they were approaching the draft. Vici looking clean. Vici looking proper clean. So the question is going to be RNG. RNG did manage to beat IG in the come up here to the group stages. And if I remember correctly, IG managed to... No, IG also lost to Vici. All right, so it'll be interesting to see whether or not in the next one, RNG brings us back a interesting performance. Does the IG thing gets us a game 3, or if this is just the end of the road and they get knocked down to the lower bracket unceremoniously, just like that. Of course, whenever this team has their back against the wall, we should look to things in the next draft, like the POS 5 Faceless Void. Whether or not that'll emerge, we do not know. But we're going to find out, because Game 2, not that far away from coming to our screens. So Go take a load off, get some water. Make sure you're following the channel in the meantime. Make sure you're subscribed as well. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. And when we return, we're going to continue with the rest of the series. Winner of this gets a winner bracket playoff berth. A pretty big prize. Which one of these two teams will grab it? We'll find out together shortly. As Game 2 coming soon, so don't go anywhere. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and my NB comrades. Sorry for the delay, but we're back. We're here. We have missed out on a large part of the draft. Unfortunately, it simply is what it is. But we're here. We're going to be continuing. We're going to be checking out how the game goes from here on out. Vici Gaming taking on the side of RNG. And one of these two squads, yet again, to reiterate the stakes, will be continuing on to play against Team Aster in the winner bracket final. The other, unfortunately, will be going down into the lower bracket and be forced to play things out with the teams like Team Magma, right now Elephant, and having joined earlier IG. All teams who are now poised to face potential elimination from the tournament. Also, we do see that the Chinese meta is expanding. PSG, LGD have changed things. Look what we have from the mid lane here for Vici Gaming. Got ourselves the Spirit Breaker. We have been seeing Zhao Shaban out here making things happen with that particular hero pick. I wonder what the game plan is going to be for Vici Gaming with this. I suppose you do have access to Iron Shell. You have the Surge as well from Old 11. At the very least in the time period before you get the Charge of Darkness eggs. It's going to be an interesting game though. Just looking at the top line heroes, RNG, Monkey King for them, Lycan in the off lane, and then having the Leshrac leading the charge from the mid lane for Emo. First of all, for Vici Gaming, of course, the Ori Spirit Breaker here that we are witnessing presently. Poyo is going to be playing the Troll Warlord, and then Old 11 on the Darkseer, who might end up dying here. Does get off the Surge, but they prevent him from running too far away, and one more right click from the God King will lead into a kill. They bring down Old 11. To be fair, God King, the Monkey King of this guy, is one of his better heroes. So certainly not a surprise to imagine that he's going to be given this to do as well as he possibly can with it. D-Stones. They're putting pressure out onto the Spirit Breaker as much as humanly possible. The issue is that Spirit Breaker, because he's capable of clearing waves these days, it's not really easy to completely outfarm him with a hero like Leshrac. Leshrac does a lot of damage, but it's a very beefy boy. As you gain these levels, you don't feel the threat as much. And he's actually just having a good time here, Ori. Top lane, Felix Shaba. Windrun will protect them for now. Did get... Oh, man. Poyo wasn't expecting that route. If he knew that first hit route was going to connect, he would have still kept right-clicking. I think they still had a magic stick, though, so they would have been fine on this Wind Ranger. Bottom lane. We do see Old 11 and PYW. There might be some danger here. They need to surge as soon as possible. One thing about Red Panda playing this Ogre Magi, it is one of these heroes that is not often picked up. In this game, it's going to be great, honestly. A steroid for the Monkey King, and also just a hero that's going to run in, die, but give his team so much vision that the fights can turn out okay. Fire Blast, interestingly enough, can cancel out Charge of Darkness. It requires some pitch-perfect usage of that spell. Shackle Shot, of course, can do the same without nearly the particular difficulty curve of making that happen. However, the main thing with both of these heroes, make things easier for your cause. Shackle Shot people to set up for Split Earths. Make sure that the Lycan army all has the additional Bloodlust. That's actually going to be the most hilarious thing. Once we get to like level 2 on the multicast, and then he's bloodlusting like everyone around him. It's going to be so funny. Yeah, man. Vici Gaming are doing the Zhao 8 strat. They've got the mid Spirit Breaker going for themselves. Flyby. Trying to flee away here because they did rotate the Spirit Breaker to the top lane. One of the great things about the Spirit Breaker mid is that when you play this hero, the degree of effort required to make a successful rotation is far lower than the degree of effort of most other heroes. God King just going to chase down Old 11 down bottom. The sad thing for Old 11 is that he did not have any way to run away. He'd already committed the surge earlier on. Monkey King does outpace you and will be able to outright click you. Vici now have lost Old 11. twice, which can be problematic because the God King, it's not like the God King is gonna stay an unsafe hero in the sense that there will come a point where the rest of Vici don't want to play into him either. Troll Warlord is similar to Ursa in the respect that it is possible for this hero to feel so strong that he beats you outside of your own Wukongs. And the one caveat with Troll versus Ursa, hold on, we're going to see a potential kill down bottom. Old 11 in danger. Red Panda trying to close the gap with the Fire Blast. Will be able to get there after the Boundless Strike has slowed down Old 11 enough. The God King now on a killing spree. Third death on the Doxia. And this game is just looking better and better for RNG. The God King. Things are looking positive. Looking like a kind of carry job that we need from him. I was going to mention that the matchup between Troll is markedly, but not that much different than the matchup against Ursa. However, the key difference is that the Ursa matchup, Ursa comes into your Wukongs, goes in with the Enrage, and he's like, well, let's go in. Let's see whose buff runs out first. Generally speaking, I do more damage than you, but if you're far enough ahead as the Monkey King, as we saw earlier today, for example, then you still can put yourself in position to resist all that damage and just turn things around and beat down the Ursa. Against Troll, it's a little bit different in the sense that it's all around ultimates. You want to kill Troll before he activates Battle Trance. If he gets off the Battle Trance and he's in a similar realm of strength as you, he's probably going to kill you. Speaking of kills, Ori tried to charge down bottom, but Red Panda prepared for this. They have the vision laid out already. There is awareness of this from the side of Vici Gaming, and they'll be able to find the D ward in very good time. Nonetheless, though, that ward has done its job. It protected the life of our bottom lane Monkey King. Flyby. Don't really have much yet from the Lycan on that side of the map. He doesn't need to provide all that much just yet, though. One thing that's terrifying is that between himself and this D-Stone's Leshrac, there's an absurd amount of push potential. Like, it's kind of crazy. Ori also ends up not being able to find a catch. He was going for a Charge of Darkness play. Regrettably, doesn't come across anybody, and that's going to be twice now that he's moved off this mid lane. Unable to find a viable target. Trying to lead into Felix Shaba right now. Charging him underneath the tier 1 tower. Felix Shaba will maybe be dead here. Nether Strike coming in from Ori. It connects flush. But here comes the Leshrac. He returns to look for revenge for his fallen comrade. He'll find it by killing PYW and sending Ori right after him. Turning the Spirit Cow into Spirit Beef. Two heroes will fall in the mid lane for the Leshrac. Oof, what a time to be alive. What a time to rotate in. Felix Shaba is the one that draws in all the aggression towards himself. So it's just easy pickings for the Leshrac thereafter. RNG having a phenomenal start to this game, honestly. Things looking as good for them as they possibly could. Especially since the God King is not only having a great early game, but he's building into this farming item on his Monkey King. He might even actually be able to kill Poyoyo in the top lane. He does not have access to Battle Trance. Mans is dead. Red Panda's gonna hit him with Fire Blast and he's gonna die. Well, actually not even gonna need Fire Blast. There's gonna come out the Battle Trance. Will they let him run his way back? Ignite will connect out onto him and they should be able to find the kill. He's gone. Red Panda still kept the Fire Blast, so they turn it around onto Ori instead. Ori now gets himself TP'd onto by Emo, who bought the early BTs, utilizing them onto the Lycan Wolves. He shows up, provide the damage. Ori goes down to join the troll in the fountain. DY in the trees, trying to skirt himself away. They know he's still here due to the scan being triggered. But he's not really that important. The most important thing is taking down the tower. Sadly for them, though, even though they have this Treant Protector, D-Stones in with the Diabolic Edict and the Lycan mini army, they easily clean up the tier 1 tower in the top lane. Vici Gaming can do nothing to stop it. They're going to charge Flyby, but I don't know if this is a charge Ori actually wants to complete. Ori coming closer. Ori, cancel the charge. Ori, cancel your charge, my friend. Okay. They're going to lead on to PYW, though. This could be a good situation. Nether Strike won't come out just yet because Red Panda bought the space, and PYW may be in some danger here. Finally, we do have the Nether Strike emerge. D-Stones went too close back into things. Old 11 comes in with the vac wall, and they're able to get the kill onto D-Stones. PYW does fall, but the bigger prize has been claimed. Can they get more out of this? They also end up losing DY, but getting flyby, hashtag worth. Especially since Poyoyo is the one that finishes off the Lycan. So bonus gold into the account of this troll. All right. I see you. Honestly, RNG got hard punished for getting too greedy there. Had they just left or just not try to pursue the Nyx Assassin as deeply as they did, they actually would have been okay. There was a moment where Red Panda bought all the possible space you could ever want by stunning up the charging in Ori, preventing the early Nether Strike. D-Stones, and he just ran away from that point, as well as Flyby. They probably lose Red Panda, but it's not that deep. Now, though, you lose two. On the bright side, it does draw a lot of attention of Vici towards this part of the map, leaving this God King, Monkey King, just farming to his heart's content. Lol. A hero is actually good. I'm pretty sure, like, the God King has some of the most played games on Morphling, but I can't guarantee if he has, like, a decent win rate on it. Keen Optic snagged up right now by the Vici Gaming side. This is really nice because you give this over towards this Nyx Assassin. It makes it a little bit easier for you to start some of these fights. Who did they give it to, though? I feel like Nyx should be the one to have this, but I guess Nyx has the Tumblr's Toy. Okay, Tumblr's Toy is way better on Nyx than Keen Optic, so this makes sense to me. Now you can use Nature's Grasp from even deeper inside the fog as tree. Now your global spells are even more global. Lol. Despite the disaster that befell them, though, RNG still in good stead in the entire map. They didn't lose out too much equilibrium on top. And the farming item for the troll only emerges now. He has the Maelstrom, but... oh, actually gets it before the Battle Fury. For some reason, I thought the God King had finished this already. Alright, I mean, it's normal to have Maelstrom before Battle Fury. But I was about to be like, yo, dude, he's so far behind because of this. But it's actually okay. Mid lane, Ori jumped in. Nether Strike directly out onto Red Panda. And he's able to immediately hit him with the chain disables. D-Stones, you tried to help, my friend. You should have learned. Don't help. Let your supports die. The charge now goes out onto Flyby. He also come into the fight. They're streaming into this one by one from the side of RNG. Flyby, run away, my friend. Leave Felix. Leave him. Leave him. Lost. Does the right thing. Leaves his support to die on his behalf. What the hell was D-Stones thinking? Why would you go forward there? It's not like these aren't heroes that you know can either reposition you or just stun lock you long enough that it doesn't matter. That was a very bizarre play coming in from D-Stones, and he got punished super hard for it. Delays the Yule Scepter, which in turn delays yet another interrupt towards this Ori charge. Furthermore, delays the item after Yule's. Whether it be BKB, Eternal Shroud, certainly an item that is going to be required for this Leshrac to have a good game. Flyby, though, for his part, him staying alive in that fight has closed the gap for the Helm of the Overlord. About to pick it up. And he can make one part of the map his own. Just keep things locked down on that part of the map and just make sure that there's constant pushes going in onto Vici. Have them need to either address it or just lose towers for free. Fortunately for them, they do have the Treant Protector. So it's one of these things where they can afford to take in some harass without attending to it, given that they can recover the damage put onto any of their structures. Felix Shaba gets charged up. Here comes another strike. Easy kill. Again, peculiar place to be playing as Wind Ranger. If you don't have vision on these high ground areas, I feel like we all should have been watching ESL, right? We've seen the Spirit Cup. We've seen, right? Okay, I'm gonna take camera control here. We've seen that the big reason why LGD, well, they lost, but the reason that they won the one game they won was vision control. The areas where the enemy is likely to have natural high ground vision, you simply cannot play around if you don't have a gem or sentries and you're playing against Spirit Breaker. So it's simply suicidal. Red Panda. About to crack into level 10 not too long from now. His role still not changing markedly. Just beef folk up, throw out the Ignite as much as you can. Get the Monkey King, the Bloodlust. And the MK is now going to go into the BKB, second item. Is he going to finish this, or is he going to consider if he wants Echo Saber first? I wouldn't mind Echo Saber. I think the game is going well enough for him that he can afford a little bit of greed. And personally, I think he should be avoiding fights for as long as humanly possible. So you will probably end up regretting buying the super early BKB. And Vici, it's not like their route to fighting is the simplest thing in the world. If you're not playing on Vici's side of the map and you're playing like as a squad on RNG, it's surprisingly difficult actually for Vici to initiate onto you. They have to sort of throw Ori forward, blink in with old 11, but that requires them to also have pretty decent vision. If you're playing together, avoiding these big fights, you can go the greedy route on the Monkey King. But on the other side though, you also know that this troll is going to go straight for BKB. So maybe that's a consideration. They want to be able to bring the Monkey King to the fight. They're tired of the God King simply having to sit on his side of the map. They're going to involve him. Just like they're involving D-Stones and Flyby in this push down middle. They have finished the hum of the Overlord, so they have access to the Ancient Granite Golem for this bonus HP. What an overgrowth from DY. 3 heroes caught inside of this. The Nether Strike will not emerge just yet from the Spirit Breaker. They stop it from happening. He throws it back towards Flyby. In the meantime, Old 11 Vacuum Wall on the 2. But D-Stones does get off the Split Earth with the Monkey King coming through with the Boundless Strike, which helps them to clean up the rest of the fight. Ori, he went forward to look for D-Stones and Felix Schaber. All he finds is the Wind Ranger and death. Poyoyo was forced to use Battletrons to keep his last bit of HP alive. Sadly for him, he gets immediately surrounded afterwards. That was a very good fight from RNG. And we see what happens in that fight if Vici Gaming don't get very clean initiation all at once. They were somewhat split in that engagement. We're not all applying their damage at once. After the Vac Wall connected onto 2, only then did they get charged again. Now it's only way after 3 heroes were caught in overgrowth. Troll kept away from dishing out damage onto any of them. And they did that fight without even needing to commit the Wukong's command from the Monkey King. Honestly, after that fight, God King has much greater discipline than I've ever had as a carry player. Because there's a 0% chance I'm still buying BKB after that fight. I'm like, dude, we rinsed them, bro. I'll buy it. Let's go in. Buying this young Echo Saber. But that's why the God King has God in his name. For divinity is often patient. I have such a massive lead though for RNG. That it's very difficult to regret anything that you do. Yo. BKB is being built by him. He would love to have it, but it's gonna come too late to defend this Roshan from being taken away. Or will it? Vici potentially stacking up around the area. Old 11 gets seen. They use up the docks here. They want to get the Shackle Shot out. 2 heroes caught inside the Split Earth. Into the Bounder Strike as well. Both of them shackled. Nyx Assassin and Dark Zero gone. Ori couldn't even kill Felix Schaber, and now is surrounded by the rest of RNG. Taken out. Double kill for the God King. Oh boy, RNG telling Vici, listen, if you're PSG LGD, go ahead and pick this mid Spirit Breaker. But if you're not them, okay, watch us dismantle you And they played really well around this area. They understood what their weaknesses might be. And they caught the one hero who you are extremely happy to catch at the beginning. Also, Old 11 bought Echo Saber on Doxia. Alright, I need to see this. What is the win rate of Echo Saber on Doxia? I have personally never actually seen this before. Of all the items in the game, get the item. A hero with really bad attack movement and attack animation. I would definitely want to find out what's the professional win rate with this item, if it ever gets picked at all. The God King, currently right now, pushing out onto the top tier 2 tower. Has the protection of the Aegis of the Immortal behind him. There will be Overgrowth drop down, BKB to get him out of it. They're all running back. Ori diving way too far forward, interrupted by the Bounder Strike, and there's going to come the Wukong's command right after Old 11 tries to get down the wall. Going to make it impossible for Vici to approach this area. And actually, Vici smoke up again. Both teams smoke up again. They're faking back. There's no Wukongs. There's no Shapeshift. Okay, just came back. Shapeshift is online. Vendetta is not in rotation, unfortunately. And nor do they have access to Vacuum Wall. But it looks like Vici were incorrect in their assessment of what RNG wanted to do next. So their smoke doesn't necessarily net them anything. Erstwhile, the smoke of RNG is likely going to net them the full pickup of the tier 2 tower in the top lane. Ah, okay, and I just understood why the Monkey King didn't buy Echo Saber. He's playing with Ogre. He's like, Bloodlust will be enough. It's fine. Level 1 Bloodlust has been very useful already, so imagine when he gets higher levels of it. They're trying to catch Ori bottom. Woo! Charges out at the very last moment there. Had they connected with the Yule Scepter from Leshrac, it would have been trouble. And speaking of the Lesh, we did anticipate the build-up of BKB after Yules. Indeed, it's come to pass to protect the Rainbow Pony. And then we're going to have some very good progress into the Octarine core. This game right now looking very dire for Vici Gaming. And the thing is for them, oh, hold that thought. Ori is gone. Ori is gone. Whew, Ori is so gone. Boundless Strike coming in from the God King to make sure of that fact. Ouch. Well, this tier 2 tower not going to be long for this world. And there we go. That's why God King didn't buy Echo Saber. Look how fast he's actually hitting. Despite this only being the level 2 Bloodlust, already seems so good for him. Mid lane. Bounder Strike interrupts them being able to stun out Red Panda. And a Shackle Shot onto Poyoyo. Wukong's command triggered right around him. Red Panda there with the AoE Fire Blast. Poyoyo forced to make use of the Battle Trance, but he's in trouble. He's fighting inside of Wukong's. He's most likely going to lose his life. He gets the Split Earth out from the Leshrac onto Old 11 as well in the meantime. And as the Troll Warlord dies, the Doxia tragically follows him into the fountain. Both heroes lacking the buyback necessary to defend this tier 3 tower. DY will do his best. PYW will clear out the wave. But ultimately, this tower will not be long for this world, and the lane of Rax also not long for this world. With 2 lanes open, they might go for the top lane too. A creep wave is coming closer. PYW should maybe attend to dealing with the creep wave through middle, so that they can re-enable the backdoor protection on top. But thinking about such, when you're in the midst of being pushed into, a bit too much to ask. They'll take the tier 3 though, and they'll back as they see the respawns of the Vici heroes. Still, RNG now in the driver's seat. A resounding lead claimed by them. The Monkey King finished the full Manta style in the meantime. So he now has Manta to get out of the Overgrowth and then just standard BKB. And my god, look at the damage. Jeez. Jeez. Aegis will now expire from the MK, but doesn't feel like he's going to need it for a bit. And they're actually going to try force the top lane. They still have this little army here. Ancient Granite Golem going to lead the charge. D-Stone's here as well with the Diabolic Edict. And they're daring Vici Gaming. They're like, come do something about this. Oh, word? What's that? Y'all can't do shit? Alright, cool. I guess we'll just get ourselves our axe. Blink Dagger now purchased up by Felix Shaba as well, so he can sit further back and still initiate with these shackle shots. We've seen how problematic these shackle shots are in these fights because of the fact that DY, PYW, Old 11, Ori, and the Troll Warlord. I mean, Troll, for some instances, he isn't, but everybody's melee heroes. So shackle shot, time and time again, has landed on multiple targets. Split Earth, time and time again, lands on multiple targets. And it's just by necessity because Vici have no real way to separate themselves in the middle of the fight without being caught by some of these larger spells of RNG. To make matters worse, because Ori always has to go balls deep in, he's often the first one that's disabled, and they need his nether strikes, and they need the attention that he soaks up towards himself. Sadly, they're not going to get that. They actually almost lost to the life of this Troll Warlord. Oh god. Oh god. Poor Yo-Yo. No, poor Yo-Yo. Boundless Strike. He's gone for sure. He's going to activate BKB, but he knows. He knows. He knows. They should be able to pick him up. Poor Yo-Yo's gone. No buyback available. It looked like Vici were going to get fortunate with RNG missing the smoke onto the Troll, but the Troll literally ended up walking forward in the lane. He's like, oh, I heard y'all were looking for me. What's up? What's going on? And sadly, they were really looking for you, my G. And the business they wanted from you, not great. Vici. It's looking pretty donezo right now, to be honest. Once this tier 2 tower is taken, power shot, connect onto DY. They've caught him. There will be a boundless strike. Jump in from the God King. Look at the damage. DY will be allowed to escape because they want to turn back for a more bigger and important target. Looking for Ori. At the same time, the God King doesn't have access anymore to the Aegis of the Immortal, nor does he have Satanic, so he needs to be careful with how he moves here. Did have to pop BKB to escape, but Vici finally able to exploit some mistakes of RNG as they dived way too deep. A bit too confident in their abilities here, and they will end up being pretty hard punished. A double kill for PYW on his Nyx Assassin, taking down the opposing supports. 740 gold picked up for the bug. Damn. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of scratch. Right now, though, RNG still in the lead. Got a bit too aggressive there. Sometimes, I mean, it's really exciting. You're winning the game. You're forcing a game 3.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Loving how this game is going right now for the side of RNG. Just be patient. The third lane of Rax will come. And they actually might find a quick kill onto PYW. Here comes revenge for our lost supports. Poyoyo does get scouted, but they're not going to make that jump. PYW is actually not even going to die. And they go forward. They will be able to find the Boundless Strike. Easy kill. Dude, this scale force is too much, actually, honestly. Like, yeah, it's a bit dumb. It's a bit dumb. No, a lot of games I actually see it seem 100% useless. But in this game, they're utilizing it to make sure that they can catch up to heroes who are a little bit too far beyond them. In that instance, PYW is the one that's pushed back, and he lacks the ability to proc BKB to protect himself. For Vici now, Ori's just trying to extend the map as much as he can. Building into the Aghanim Scepter. He's not playing nearby the Darkseer, so he can't really get the Surge bonus. And even then, Darkseer would be nice if there was Ags for the Darkseer. Then you could at the very least give bonus HP to Ori. But not necessarily the case. Also, I love the BKB build on old 11. Just to make sure he can actually, when he gets forward after blinking in, too many times has he been caught by an insta-shackle, insta-split earth, insta-fire blast, and you can't actually utilize his spells. This way, he guarantees that no matter what, he can lay out the wall, can lay out the vacuum, can get that normal punch out. The big man is online right now. So Roche up. RNG. Not sure if they scouted it, but they should now. Yeah, they see him now. For Vici, they won't be able to come in and defend this. Not really, anyway. They're finishing a full Mjolnir for the Troll Warlord. He still doesn't feel really strong enough to fight any of these heroes. Feels like he needs like 1 or 2 more items. If he had Satanic, that might have been a different story. But the way he is right now still feels very underwhelming. The Mjolnir will certainly help, though. Not just the damage, but the static charge as an additional form of defense for himself. So far, jumping him has not come really at a cost to anybody on RNG. The static charge make them pay a little bit of a cost. Bottom. This might be the final fight of the game, as RNG is stacking up to prepare themselves to go up onto the high ground. The God King. He's the one that's sitting with the Aegis. Gale Force onto Poyoyo. No way! Felix Xiaoba. No BKB, no Battle Trance, no nothing. They get the quick kill onto the troll. And no buyback for a full minute. What can they do? Old 11 forced to use BKB just to avoid the Boundless Strike. But look at the physical damage. It's still so high. But no, Vacuum Wall turns this around. They might be able to at least get the first life away from the Monkey King. And the illusions do the trick. But now Ori may pay the price himself. He's trying to get back into his base. There will be a Yule Scepter on top of him. DY does buy space with the overgrowth, but it does not matter. The pressure is too high. They get the kill. GG is called. Vici Gaming. They roll the dice on trying the PSG LGD strategy of the mid-spirit breaker. And sometimes those dice come up snake eyes. Woo! RNG with the victory. All right. All right. I like what I have seen here from RNG. Okay. This was a much better game for several reasons. I think chief among them is the draft, obviously. Comparing this draft, this is like night and day to the previous game. But the main thing about those drafts is it's so much better than game 1 versus what Vici have to offer. But Vici's draft did not seem like when you 5 melee heroes, didn't seem like they were respecting RNG at all. 5 melee heroes into Monkey King, Leshrac, Windranger. There's no respect. This was them being like, these guys suck. We can do whatever the hell we want. Let's just roll them. And it turns out you can't. It turns out you can't. RNG is actually a legit team. They figure out a way to be able to dismantle Vici in every step of the map. And the big thing for me was, if we take a look at how old 11 was forced to try and play this game, to play around the Spirit Breaker, didn't really allow him to get in the... Like, the fact that he had to start being the one that goes in first because Ori stopped being able to do so. You can never play a Spirit Breaker game where the strategy and the plan is that Spirit Breaker isn't going in first. He can't be follow-up. He can be, but he can't be. If you need Spirit Breaker to be follow-up, you should have picked a different hero. And the way the game state was going, they needed him to try and change into that because where's the disable? They had overgrowth, right? But through BKB, it didn't have a nice single target. We're going to help knock the Monkey King out of Wukongs or prevent D-Stones from being able to TP out. We needed that Nether Strike, but if he goes in first, he's going to die, then we won't have it. It has to be old 11. Old 11 can't reliably make it happen. So then he buys BKB, Echo Saber, just everything went south for them on the basis of this draft. Must say RNG as well. Phenomenal performance from the God King. He played a lot better game 2 than he did game 1. But also a really good performance from D-Stones. Like, yeah, D-Stones, for me, my real carriers of this game are D-Stones and Felix Shaba. Personally, a little bit leaning more towards Felix. just because he was perfect with his positioning. Every single time somebody would show up to try and make one of the deeper plays, he'd be there, blink, shackle shot. 2 heroes are caught in it. Those same heroes are split earth as well. Makes the engagement so much easier for the lineup. RNG, man. Alrighty. Despite me critiquing Felix Sharba for playing dangerously on the map without vision, now looking back on it, I can understand why he feels he could do so. He's like, well, there's only a limited amount of time Vici have the capability of charging us down like this anywhere on the map. Eventually, we're going to get so strong that every charge from Ori is a death sentence. And that's what we got. That's what we got to in the game. That's what we got to in the game. So, Vici Gaming dismantled for game 2, almost as badly as they dismantled RNG for game 1. And now they will be going into Le Finale, the final one. We have one more. One more game to determine which one of these two squads will wind up in the winner bracket final, playing against Team Aster to determine who our first grand finalist will be, or one loss away from being dumped down into the lower bracket, where losing could result in elimination. A fate that nobody wants to brook, but a fate which is still on the cards. So game 3 will determine whose fate that'll be. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. Make sure you're following the channel. Make sure you call someone you love. Let them know that you love them. And of course, make sure that you are right back here in about 10 minutes in front of the screen so you can absorb and engage in the game 3 of this incredible, amazing Dota 2 action.
take us so far, broken down heart, like strung out old stars, plain talking served us so well. We traveled through hell, know how we felt.
Ladies, gentlemen, and my NB comrades, welcome back. Here we are. The finale, not just of the series, but of the day of playoff action here in the I-League. Game number 3 between Vici Gaming and the side of RNG, where one of these two squads proceeds forward in the winner's bracket to play Team Aster to challenge for the slot in the grand finals. The other drops down to have to play it out the long way. Still possible to get to the grand finals, but a much harder road ahead. Which road is going to be taken by which team? We're going to find out together. Let's go. I'm your boy Snare, and we're here for game number 3. RNG. This is interesting. So, Vici Gaming go in for the first pick, Nyx Assassin. Not really surprising to see that hero emerge anymore. Interestingly, though, RNG just goes straight for the combo. Waste no time. I think I've mentioned this before that the D-Stones Invoker is the one mainstay, the one like Chinese player I can allow to play Invoker without like tearing my head out. I mean, SCCC, there was a point where his Invoker was pretty great, but feels very sad that that's not a name that I can talk positively about right now. It's been a struggle. It's been a struggle for our boy SCCC. Hopefully, come the new season, he's able to find a better squad to be able to integrate himself with. Here for RNG though, they got themselves the Invoker. They have themselves the Faceless Void. So you have the big AoE combo. Cataclysm, Chrono, always going to be big damage. Of course, they even add that with the Hoodwink Sharpshooter. So in the event that the Invoker isn't ready with the Cataclysm, then you can still throw in the Sharpshooter so that Void can right-click down the target in question. Vici Gaming, in the meantime, went back for what worked in the game 1, grabbing themselves this young Templar Assassin. Or ETA, hard carried game 1. Might as well bring it back, hope that it's able to do the same and hard carry us again. They also make sure that they get themselves the protection. I'm kind of surprised that RNG didn't decide to ban this and instead decided to ban the DK. But at the same time, I understand. When you're playing Faceless Void, the thing that hurts a lot, percent-based damage reduction, either from DK or from the Tidehunter, really ruins the hero. So I can understand why they ensure to remove that. Of course, dealing with Purification or GA as well would also ruin the Chrono combo. That being said, it does leave it free for Vici to snap up the Shadow Demon, make sure that they can get the long-range save onto whoever gets caught inside the bubble initially. For RNG, in the meantime, having access to this Hoodwink with the Sand King now, strong enough lane. I think this should be the lane combo, because this is a killing lane, the Hoodwink Sand King. Very stable hero. You can also put in the Sand King damage into the bubble itself. Hell, I've seen it happen before where Sand King will blink in very cavalierly to initiate with the epicenter, and then you put the Chrono on top of that. Impossible to dodge out that damage. In this game, of course, you wanted another source of team fight outside of the Chronosphere. So I really do like the Sand King pickup. Also, one of the better heroes, I think, against Templar Assassin. Being able to not just find her, but very quickly, depending on when you try and gank her, but you can very quickly get rid of the refraction using Caustic Finale. Vici Gaming went back for the old 11 Night Stalker. So it's actually a decent game for this Night Stalker. Crippling Fear is huge in this game. And it can prevent so much from happening from RNG. And wow, it actually might... Whoa. You know what I forgot? I forgot this is RNG. And I even mentioned it after game 1. I was like, yo, because RNG lost, get ready for Red Panda Faceless Void. And I forgot. It slipped my mind that this was going to be the Red Panda Void. And in some respect, it must have slipped Vici Gaming's mind as well. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. They lost pick Drow Ranger without having banned out the Spectre. So we have lost pick God King Spectre, baby. Yeah, let's go. God King Spectre, Halberd Spectre. Let's do it. I'm so hyped, actually. Yeah. Oh, Helm of the Overlord, Beastmaster is busted. Word? Yeah, it's actually crazy. It's stupid. It's the dumbest thing ever. I was laughing the other day. Somebody asked me, they were like, should they build Helm of the Overlord? And what I said about Helm of the Overlord on Beastmaster, I was like, there's two approaches to building on that hero. If you want to win, build Helm of the Overlord. If you want to have fun, go Blink Dagger, you know, Aghanim Scepter, Solar Crest. But Helm of the Overlord Beastmaster, yes, is actually busted and it's stupid. And it's, yeah, it's not great. If you don't have any way of dealing with it, you're done. Game's over. Vici Gaming. Oof. I actually think they're going to lose this game. I don't like their draft as much as I like the RNG draft. I always like the Invoker, having the Tornado. This is a great game for Tornado. Great against TA, great against the Night Stalker. And the thing is, D-Stones won't always be a hero and the front line to initially get caught out by the crippling fear of Old 11. They'll need several Blink Daggers, it feels like, to catch out some of these heroes on the back line. The Spectre. What deals with the Spectre? Like, real talk, what helps them deal with the Spectre? Okay, so they have Shadow Demon, right? Demonic Purge against Spectre is always very, 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 very good. The Disruption against Spectre, also very, 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 very good. But none of that really matters if it's a large enough Spectre and she's still able to take over the fight afterwards. To make matters worse, if Flyby has a good game, he's going to be able to largely just spoil any kind of way of reaching where Spectre is. This is, like we saw in the previous game with IG, he basically has to do Old 11. He has to cosplay JT from the earlier IG game. Well, not the whole game, but that portion of the game after he got Blink Dagger BKB and turned everything around, that's what he needs here. The Blink BKB, I cannot stress enough how fast he needs to get these items. If these items take long to arrive, I actually don't think this game is possible for Vici. So they absolutely need Old 11 to have a good laning phase. They need this Blink, they need that BKB. It's a lot to ask for. And ideally, you'd want to have D-Stones being prevented from having a great game from the mid lane, but it's not easy. It's not easy. DY also needs to have a fairly decent game because they're playing this Nyx Assassin in the 5 position. So it's not going to be 4 Nyx getting super high levels, roaming the map and helping your team set up for kills. It's going to be the Vision Monkey more than anything else. So it might be a delayed timing on Blink Dagger for that hero. Shadow Demon must buy Blink, but the Blink is primarily going to be defensive because you never want to use Disruption until you know when Chronos come out. It's a hard game for Vici. Needs to be Old 11. Let's see if he's got it. Let's see if he can make it happen. Old 11 has many times throughout his career carried his team through impossible situations. Will this be adding to that list? Let's find out. Game number 3. RNG versus Vici Gaming. La finale! La finale! La finale! Jareen, yeah. This game depends literally entirely on the Blink Dagger timing. Slow Blink, they probably lose the game. Very fast Blink, that changes everything. Now suddenly, if they get a very fast Blink Dagger, it'll most likely mean that that lane that he's in went quite well. And then suddenly, he's going forward with the Templar Assassin. They're blinking on targets, eviscerating them. Even heroes like Spectre, Invoker, will have zero safety for themselves. Now here we go. The G calls have been drawn out. And it begins, so it begins. Red Panda, of course, there is some pressure to make sure that the Faceless Void gets level 6, but it's all he really needs, just level 6, and he's fine. He doesn't really care beyond that. This is going to be the position 6 Faceless Void, so it's all good. In the top lane, things are interesting. Flyby, this lane against the Drow Ranger, it's a lane where Sand King still gets what he needs, but it's not the easiest lane in the world to play. You still have to be fairly careful about not taking too much damage from the Frost Arrows. Although, eventually, if you ever reach the Drow Ranger, which you can with the Hoodwink once more levels are achieved for Felix Shaba on that side of the map, might lead into a dangerous situation for the Drow. So Poyoyo needs to be careful throughout this game. PY Dub is gonna end up walking past the sentry, dewarding it, making sure that it's still stackable for his mid laner here. TA, of course, very hungry for creeps in the jungle. She just soaks up everything in terms of farm. Pause 7 or pause 8. These are facts though. These are facts. Listen, all Red Panda cares about is level 6. If he gets level 6 this game, whether he gets it now or gets it at 15, 20 minutes, he's achieved his objective. Top lane. An objective for Vici though will be getting first blood. Achieved right now by Poyoyo. With the help of DY, they're able to pick up the life of this hoodwink. Red Panda still engaged in this cold war with PYW. Now, how much gold has been spent just on sentries in these first few minutes? For me, the fun thing about this is that because Red Panda is playing the position 19 Faceless Void, PYW is playing pause 4. Like, PYW is running around, right? Keeping Red Panda from being able to block some of these camps, stealing bounty roots, etc. But what he's not doing, right, is getting his own experience. Will Red Panda block this? Of course he will. Of course Red Panda's gonna block both. What pulls, Bates? What pulls? Then he's gonna take your bounty rune as well. Red Panda doing the right thing, and he still has another sentry, baby. Here we go. Plops it down. Red Panda, what a player. And he's distracting PYW, having him spend a lot of time and gold. While this is happening, no pressure is being applied bottom towards the Spectre. Sure, Spectre 1v1 versus Night Stalker can't really do anything except farm herself, but you'll notice she's not taking any shadow poison. She's not being disrupted. She's not being right-clicked into a bad position. So she's A-okay with the situation. Has attained level 4 without any mishaps here. And Red Panda, yes, it might be the case that some of the D-wards have been taken away, but the job has largely been done here. Still level 1, unfortunately, and literally has no experience on this hero. But part of this is to make sure that Spectre gets all the experience. Compare and contrast the level advantage. Spectre's about to crack 5, erstwhile Drow just hit 4. Wonder what happened bottom that they end up getting that tip. Oh! Is that a Sunstrike kill? Oh, shit. Dude, D-Stones is playing straight up Exort Invoker. My man is not even wasting time to wait for this Aghanim Scepter before he starts throwing out fire from the heavens. Quas with the Exort Invoker. Okay, it's been a young minute. So we're rushing into the Hand of Midas for ourselves here. Alright, I see you, D-Stones. I mean, it's paid results, right? It got them a kill top onto Poyoyo. And it's not like they wouldn't want to have some of the goodies that come with the Exort Invoker in this game. We'll see whether or not Vici Gaming can pressure this Invoker now, given that he's going to have less teamfight effectiveness for the build he's gone for. Top lane, they might want to try again. Sunstrike, Bushwhack, Poyo. It had less to do with all the stacking and just preventing TA from getting her farm, but a lot to do with being able to make sure that Spectre had decent waves at the beginning. PYW though, finally going to be undeterred. Back in position to make sure we get all these stacks going. Whew, look how much young triple stack here on the hard camp. Actually, it's a quad stack on the hard camp. Okay. Is it quad or triple? I have to look again. Mid lane. Red Panda showed up. So funny. It's only level 2 now. Actually might die here. Look how much damage he's taking from this Templar Assassin. The Ice Wall, though, from D-Stones will create enough of a blockade that Vici will not be able to chase further beyond. Invoker almost has access to the Hand of Midas. Felix Sharbar actually might help to get a kill middle. Sunstrike connects onto this Templar Assassin. They just did not have a little extra damage. Would have led to a kill onto the TA. Oh, man. X-Sword Invoker. Don't see this every day. But D-Stones is going to make it happen. D-Stones is going to utilize this for his team. With old 11, how many denies does this Night Stalker have? 26 denies over the God King. Wow. That is very impressive, actually. And remember, this was mostly a 1v1 lane. That's why old 11 has been tipping him all the time. Because he has so many denies. Jeez. That's a lot of gold Spectre should have that she just doesn't now. That's pretty huge, especially considering how much effort Red Panda committed into trying to secure better farm for the God King. The fact that even though left to his own devices, he still couldn't do it. Alright, never mind, Jareen. It takes away some of the advantage gained by Red Panda. They'll try to gain that back by going for a quick Horns kill. Top lane, DY gonna be the target. Sunstrike will be there. D-Stones picks up that kill. That's gonna be gold for the Midas. It's flying in now. And the rest of the crew will just hang around this top lane to finish off the tier 1 tower.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Must I repeat myself?
So the top tier 1 tower in danger of falling. Poyoyo has abandoned that part of the map. Erica pulls through bottom, looking for the tier 1 tower. Old 11 in the meantime. Does Old 11 have Scurry? Yeah, he's fine. Oh, Felix Shaba has Scurry. Old 11 will actually trigger the Dark Ascension to chase him. Felix Shaba should die here. No escape. And this also ensures that the team is able to take the tier 1 down bottom. So certainly a worthwhile usage of the Dark Ascension. At the same time, the top tower will fall in favor of the Spectre. But remember, because of all those denies from the Night Stalker, the Spectre has a long way to go to catch up with farm to the Drow. Yeah, Slayers. D-Stones on his best hero. D-Stones Invoker. Bringing back the X-Sword plays. Already succeeded in getting some kills through this. Ori, however, it's not like he's playing a hero he's a stranger to. Quite familiar with how to handle himself on this Templar Assassin. Right now, just trying to finish off this D-Lance as quickly as humanly possible. The thing about this game is that for RNG, they have a long way to go before it really feels terrible that Spectre's had such a bad start. Because provided they ever just get... They just need Chrono plus Aghanims on Invoker and they have teamfight suddenly. And they don't necessarily need the additional damage for a while from the Spectre. However, as time goes on and this Drow gets stronger, it'll become really important to figure out a way to get directly on top of her. If Spectre is too weak, then you never want to make the direct jump on Drow because she just destroys you. Also, I'm paying very close attention to the God King build. That game we're talking about, he went Echo Saber Halberd. Wait, no, wait. Did he go Echo Saber Halberd or did he go Blade Mail Echo Saber Halberd? Either way, ended up working out. This game, Halberd could still be useful. But first things first, get your Echo Saber. Both Drow and TA have practically finished their Dragon Lances. It's gonna be a bit of a soft period of the game right now, where Vici are trying to figure out the timings for their Blink Daggers. Old 11 still doesn't have his own one, but does have the Echo Saber flying in. So we'll be able to spend the next while farming closer and closer towards the key item. The odd skirmish here or there will still happen, such as this rotation to the top lane, where they're looking for the God King. PYW, if you can find this disruption, they can probably find this kill. There's a disruption. DY comes in with the Impale. They got the catch onto the God King. Silence will be there as well from Old 11 with the Crippling Fear. Hell, even Ori shows up to make 100% sure that the Spectre does die. Farming the dangerous areas of the map, and she does get punished for this. And they smoke up instantly. They want to head towards middle. D-Stones will just drop Alacrity onto a Siege Wagon, trying to escape right now. Old 11 trying to find him with the Dark Ascension. They have vision here, but D-Stone's gonna be able to get away, throwing in the Deafening Blast, at least for now, but no Ghost Walk. So, the Ghost Walk being deployed earlier ends up being what dooms him because it's not available on the second go.
At work. Radiant's
They also found Red Panda as well. Vici Gaming play very, very quickly. They explode onto this. 2k gold lead now for them, and they need to keep this up. Spectre still depressed. She can catch up a bit later. The Echo Saber will make a huge difference, but she doesn't have it now. Nor do they have the Aghanim Scepter right now. This is the time to exploit RNG. However, they might now have a way back. Red Panda has level 6. And Blink Dagger has just been picked up by Flyby. This will now open up the chance for RNG. Not just that, they also got Meme Hammer on Felix Shaba. Okay, Power Spike for RNG. I would smoke now if I'm them. Especially because they have Horns back online. You can find one of the bigger targets, say Poyoyo. Use some of these spells, then you haunt in for this. And indeed, RNG recognize the viability of the strat. They're going to smoke up themselves now. Heading a field on the map. Where will they go? Who will they find? Night Stalker is bottom, but he realizes that he might be a bit too far forward. Trying to angle himself into the trees. Ori, though, also coming forth. Coming down from the riverside. Ships in the night. They're all going to pass each other. This is really sad. They actually had an opportunity to kill Ori. Massive hero kill there. Instead, all they're going to be able to find is the grab onto PYW. Or not! No! Felix Shalba messed up. Didn't find the bushwhack. Throws in the sharpshooter and messes that one up too.
Dire's middle tower is under
Alright, the squirrel has squirreled that one up. That can't happen. That can't happen. That's not allowed to happen.
is under attack.
They're still going to be able to pick up the tier 1 tower. But that should not have been allowed to happen in the first place. Ori, gonna move correctly. Let's see. Will they find Ori? Sitting in a very careful part of the map. Felix Shaba, bushwhack. Okay, they catch old 11. There's the Meme Hammer. And they overlay a lot of these stuns, but it doesn't matter. They have the damage for this kill. Could have been a lot easier, but the objective still attained. Comes a bit late. Actually, it ends up working out at the end of the day that they didn't go for the Night Stalker first, because it allowed them to get the tier 1 middle. Then they come back for this Night Stalker kill. It ultimately does work out, but still not the cleanest execution from the RNG lineup. Ori as well did quite well to wait. He was a little bit impatient to find a target, but he realizes that if he gets found first, then he dies. So he's willing to wait with the Melt Strike until somebody reveals themselves on the map, so he has an idea of how to maneuver inside the Radiant jungle. Earn Halbert Ags away. Thank you, Jireen. So this game, there is no Earn. No Halbert just yet. He seems to be going for Echo Saber into Manta, I imagine. It certainly has to be Manta. There is a silence on this Drow Ranger, and the last thing you want is to haunt on top of her and then get gusted. You need a way to be able to get yourself out of that. Speaking of also being able to get yourself out, Felix Shaba has no options. Try to scurry, but yeah. Melt Strike there first. With the 4v5, they might decide to jump the God King in the mid lane. Indeed, they will be able to catch him. Does he escape here? Demonic Purge thrown out. Sand King thinking about making a jump, but also probably realizing it seems like a bad idea. At the same time, they actually don't get enough damage out onto the God King. They respect the Chronosphere of Red Panda enough that they're not going to make that forward movement. Felix Shaba came in, did get off the scurry, trying to run through the trees. Sunstrike kill onto PYW in the meantime. Felix Shaba is going to turn with the bushwhack. Meme Hammer going to land out onto the Night Stalker. There's the first chrono of the game as well from Red Panda. It's just buying time as they get out the sharpshooter hit. Void will be good enough to kill the Hoodwink. And they also turn and put damage out onto Red Panda. The God King didn't want to throw his Spectral Dagger at Old 11, wanted to reserve it for escape. So he will not throw in any additional support into the Chrono. And sadly for them, they'd already committed the Sunstrike. And I don't think they had the Aghanim Scepter on the Invoker when that young Chronosphere emerged. Vici end up getting 2, but they don't get the big prize. He wanted the big Spectre kill. But they failed to attain it. However, in the grand scheme of things, they also avoided getting Chrono Cataclysm, so I guess that's fine. Also, one of the things that I do miss about seeing this mid-invoker that goes for this Aghanim Scepter build is just how high you progress. Your net worth just stays so high as this invoker. Vici. Dude, Vici's game sense honestly feels like... I don't know. It's so good. Their ability to avoid some of these ganks, read the play on the map of where movement is likely coming from, knowing when to stop farming a particular area, knowing when to leave behind vision and when it's pointless, so good. Cataclysm, definitely unnecessary there. This is a bad habit I see sometimes from invokers, that they just want to pop Cataclysm. You know, sometimes Sunstrike is fine. Sometimes it's okay. Mid lane. I think they found all 11. Flyby has got him. There's the Burrow Strike. They chase him as well with the Haunt. Meme Hammer comes in. He's been caught by the entire team. Yet again, all 11 dies to the damage of this Flyby Sand King. The God King chasing forward. And PYW, big plays from him. Self-disruption into a blink away, even using the Tumbler Toy to hop that little distance forward. RNG able to net themselves a kill on the Night Stalker. And they did this without having to commit Chrono. So that's going to be back up in 8 seconds. The Cataclysm, of course, will also be returning soon. RNG. So this is also, right now, the next few minutes of the game are crucial and critical for Vici. They have this blink on the Night Stalker, of course, but they need to be able to figure out where to go and use it. And the reason it has to be within the next few minutes is because now that there is Haunt down, RNG are limited somewhat in their counterplay potential. So Vici needs to try and exploit that. Especially since Poyoyo now is a lot safer on the map. Whenever Haunt is down, Drow is 100% safe. They need this Spectre to be the one to deal with the Drow Ranger. So the longer they have Haunt down, the harder she can farm to prepare herself for the inevitable moment of that conflict. RNG gonna try stack up for that conflict by taking an early Aegis. I think Vici is aware of this though. They're moving towards this side of the map, and this is not the fastest Aegis in the world. Certainly taking a while. Vici are smoked up. They're coming to this area. They're ready for this fight. Old 11, will he proc the Dark Ascension? Indeed he does. Who gets found first? Deafening Blast pushes back the Nyx. RNG, they've got the Aegis. They got it. They got it. They will lose the Invoker for this, as well as the Faceless Void, as well as the Sand King. But they did get the Aegis in the hands of the God King. And the Spectre is able to flee. Red Panda might also die for this though, and this is a dieback, remember. Will Red Panda survive? No, he won't. Even with that additional fluff he had, Red Panda gets brought down on the God King. God King, average God King times. Try to TP straight up in the lane. Didn't get far enough into the trees with the Spectral Dagger. And now, alright, that's a freaking disaster. Listen, it was already a terrible fight for them. Why didn't they just try to take the engagement? They had the opportunity. Red Panda should have just dropped the Chrono on their faces. And then they forced the fight, but... RNG try to have their cake and eat it too. They wanted to get the Aegis, escape with the God King, escape... Like, they jump out with the wrong heroes in that situation, in the wrong order. And they panicked. Vici Gaming take major advantage of said panic. Oh boy. DUI. Yeah, Jireen. I'm loving that this Nyx Assassin is just parked inside the trees, using this hatchet to clear the way. Does not want any surprises from this side of the map. What a bad fight for RNG.
I'll take that.
Bye-bye. Thinking about being able to kill DUI here. Bushwhack does connect. onto this Nyx. All right, at the very least, this time around, they don't use a full Sunstrike Cataclysm combo. That's going to be the Sunstrike itself. One beam falls down to get a kill onto the Nyx Assassin. Flyby still going to keep this top part of the lane pushed out to the max. All right, I was mentioning earlier, it's going to be a while until it really bothers them how far behind the God King is. Now it's a major problem. But oh no, that problem might help be abated somewhat by a kill onto Ori. Ori goes down. Old 11 should follow him into the grave as a tornado will catch him on the TP out. They even found PYW. The haunts from the God King. I don't think he even meant to kill the Shadow Demon. But the damage is enough regardless. Okay. Tier 2 taken suddenly. And the God King now suddenly equal in net worth to Old 11. Has the gold to finish his Manta style. And will begin the build up into the Aghanim Scepter so that he has the Shadow Step. Shadow Step is huge in this game. If Bushwhack ever catches a target to be followed up by Meme Hammer, Burrow Strike, etc., then also you have that Shadow Step to get in that additional damage from the Spectre. The wild thing to me is that RNG have slashed this gold lead down to 4K. They're still in this game. They're starting to involve the Spectre. And then we haven't actually even seen the Chronosphere Cataclysm combo. It's not been a feature of this game so far. And nonetheless, Vici Gaming are still struggling to deal with the onslaught of damage that can emerge in mere seconds from the side of RNG. Yeah, Jareen, it's a bit of a concern that they haven't really killed Drow in like a long time. But again, Poyoyo is not itemizing like a man who feels on top of the world. Look at what he's building. He knows that they're coming for him eventually. Just as the case that Spectre, due to a very poor laning phase, hasn't felt strong enough to make those jumps. But that set of circumstances will not abide forever. When she does eventually feel free to jump on top of you, you need to be ready. BKB, Shadow Blade, Hurricane Pike, whatever it takes. Poyoyo knows that building aggressively is not the way forward at this point. Let the TA be the one to prioritize that further aggression. You just stay alive and keep marksmanship going. That's your job right now. Big smoke from Vici. Looking for these targets from RNG. Trying to invade in the Radiant jungle. They had a very nice ward with Scouter D-Stone, so they see him again. There's no BKB on the Invoker. Flyby goes back with his own BKB, and the Burrow AP combo not going to be enough for salvation. In fact, Flyby might end up dying anyway, because they have enough right-click damage to get that kill. No forced off on the Invoker, and still no BKB at the ready. D-Stones wind up losing his life. Good job done by the side of Vici Gaming to claim that kill. And, okay. Oh, look who they haunt. Look who they haunt. Look who they haunted. Look who they haunted. Look who they found. They have found the Drow Ranger. Poyoyo definitely gonna die here. Red Panda able to get that kill. We see the blink away from PYW as he realizes there's no more assistance that he can render on this part of the map. Okay, there's the first real jump and death onto Drow. The God King is going to tell us that it was all by plan to draw Old 11 to the top lane so that he's not available to help the Drow Ranger. And Drow, remember, she doesn't have BKB yet. She actually changes her mind towards Silver Edge. I suppose she feels that if she gets BKB, she can still get chronoed. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm looking at this RNG draft. I'm still feeling a BKB. I mean, if you're Poyoyo and you have BKB there, you don't actually die. Because then you BKB, Hurricane Pike forward, and then you're out of range of the chrono. Top lane. Elixaba. Looks like he might end up being food here. And he will get the impale to set this one up. Scurry attempted into the trees, but it is an attempt. That's all it can be. They end up getting a kill again onto this Hoodwink. Still though, that's 4 heroes that went top to make that happen. The God King calmly farming bottom. Flyby will go invade the dire triangle. Picks up an Elven Tunic while he's at it. Hey, Spectre will be happy with this. Like, Elven Tunic, sweet. Thank you.
It would appear Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Small pause here as we get some disconnects from the side of Vici Gaming. Just the DCO2. Just the DCO2. So as we are waiting for these players to get back into the game, we need to consider what's still at stake here. Remember, upper bracket gets you into the easy slot. You don't have to try nearly as hard to get yourself into grand finals. Coming from the lower bracket, much more difficult affair to muster. Right now, Vici Gaming are ahead in the gold. The gold grain, though, is largely in 2 places. It is the lead that TA has over everybody else on the map, of course. And it's like just slight farm on Poyoyo that he feels comfortable with over and above the Spectre. But this set of affairs can change anytime. The God King is getting stronger. The Spectre. Yo, there's a reason why Dota Plus loves late game Spectre. Also, remember, Invoker got the very early hand of Midas. Now he has BKB. So we can start building it to Shivas, Sheep Sticks, these sort of items. Increase their effectiveness in the midst of these engagements. Hell, I could even see him after the Shiva's God going for a refresher so that we have the double Cataclysm, double BKB every single fight. Red Panda also getting closer towards having this Blink Dagger. Bye-bye. Oof, what a blink timing. What a blink timing. Old 11 blinked in, couldn't find a way to stop Flyby from doing the same. I mean, they'll just happily take the outpost. It's fine. Bonus experience is cool. DY has access to a sentry nearby, so they're going to be able to get some Diors. Or is this a gem? Yeah, it's just a gem on Old 11. $6K gold lead in Vici. Still in it, still doing really well, but RNG cannot be counted out. Especially not when you're playing 5-position Faceless Void. The scary thing about this hero, eventually, if this game were like 100 minutes, eventually he will be able to find some right-clicking items onto the Red Panda Void. For now, I love it, just this shovel really has had us back. They haven't gotten like a... Wait, what? Why did they take the Philosopher's Stone? I suppose like having less attack damage, like attack speed as Faceless Void sucks, but... I don't know, you're playing 5 Void. Don't think it matters that much. He's not spending that much time farming either, so that Philly Stone is just chilling. Not doing anything for anybody. Kind of bizarre, but Red Panda is the position 9 Void specialist, not me. Right now, they were smoked up as RNG, hoping to catch Vici Gaming off guard, initiate with the Chrono. They will not be able to do so. I think ideally they wanted to also reveal God King's Aghanim Scepter. Newly completed, we now have access to the Shadow Step, and also level 20. As much as there's a 6K gold lead, the experience lead is also a bit more troubling. But when I look at the level, it's actually not so bad. It's bad because of how far ahead PYW is and how far behind Red Panda is. But the Spectre and the Invoker are still relatively high up there. Although they'll have to make sure that they do not lose out on this Aegis. Felix Shaba throws in the Acorn shot. Okay. Burrow Strike will come in. There's a Haunt. Cataclysm will be down too. They've really fucked up this combo, but they still want to take the fight. Sharpshooter goes forward onto the Templar Assassin. Old 11 has BKB going. God King on the wrong side of the fight. Poyoyo just dishing out the damage with Ori directly on top of the Spectre. And the God King is gone. Old 11, will he be able to bring down Red Panda with the help of DY? Of course they do. And sure, they do take away the Aegis from the TA. So this time around, it's RNG who end up taking the Aegis immediately as it's claimed. But, oh, Old 11 is not letting Felix Shaba leave. Yet again, another horrific fight around the Roshan pit. It seems to be that area is the kryptonite of RNG. Literally incapable of making good decisions when approaching the Roshan pit. And I don't just mean in this game. Well, the bright side, though, is that they don't have to deal with an Aegis on the second go. And in the meantime, Vici Gaming will not be able to break their high ground. So they can consider it as a lost fight. Not just a lost Roshan fight. Doesn't change too much in the grand scheme of things, but it does mean that the Spectre unable to actually get anything going from revealing the Aghanim Scepter. So we'll probably need to get to Skadi before he feels really effective. Shadow Step down onto DUI. Dude, what's happening with y'all execution? RNG. What is happening? They get themselves 3 hits with the Impale from DY. They lose their lives towards the TA. They now need to flee en masse. The God King might not be able to do so. And he's going to die bottom. What happened? Dude, RNG. Oh my god. Somebody pause. They need to pause. Anybody who plays FIFA or fighting games, you'll know that, or even if you play Counter-Strike, right now they need attack pause. Because their heads are, not in the game anymore. You simply cannot lose 4 heroes trying to chase down a Nyx. It can't be that difficult to get the Nyx kill. And if it is that difficult, you can't keep committing that hard for it and not expect them to respond, given that they still have a tier 1 tower in the bottom lane.
Strange to say, Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Vici Gaming, 15k gold up right now. Coming for their first lane of racks. Full silver edge now finished for Poyoyo. In tandem with the BKB. I'm very glad he decided to finish that item first. Realizing the danger he was in if he built any other direction. Vici trying to force through this tier 3 tower. With the positioning of Old 11 in the trees, they know how hard it is to jump onto him. They're going to go onto Ori. There's going to come the Chronosphere after the Burrow Strike combo. But Invoker gets jumped on by Old 11 with the BKB. They're going to be able to kill him. We finally have a Haunt coming in from the God King, but he has no vision of Ori. Old 11 is holding the rest of the team back, basically by himself. God King failed to be able to kill PYW, so the Shadow Demon will still live. And though they managed to hold the high ground, did require 2 buybacks. And they don't even get a really high value target from this. RNG. Their composure at present really being tested. If they were executing better, Vici would be in a lot more trouble, but Vici are finding themselves able to exploit pockets of weakness. How on earth is a TA actually getting off BKB after being initiated on with Burrow Strike, Epi, but somehow BKB comes out before the chrono? That should never happen. Ever, 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 ever.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
D-Stones waited until like the Night Stalker was on his face before activating his own BKB. As a result, died and brought back. BKB being expended for nothing. This is still Dota 2. And remember, it's Defense of the Ancients. The Ancient still has not fallen. RNG still in this. Still have a Spectre. Still have a Midas on the Invoker. Provided the map is not finished, anything is still possible.
Sorry, I just noticed that Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Vici. Not in the best place right now. Or have put RNG in a very awkward place right now. RNG trying to play together and figure out a way back into the game. The main thing has to be just cleaning up their initiation. Of course, the Eye of Skadi is also going to make a huge difference for the God King. That's what always sucks about playing into heroes like Spectre, Medusa, Terrorblade. You're never comfortable. You're ahead, but you're never happy. You're never relaxed. You also have a Blink Dagger at long last for the Faceless Void. And you swapped out the Trusty Shovel for the Ceremonial Robe, so that there's a little bit of extra bonus damage inside the bubble. RNG. Where does Red Panda die? Okay, died inside his own triangle. That's not so bad. That's not so bad. That's still fine. That's still fine.
Dire's top tower is being attacked like nobody's business.
Shiva's God. Snagged up by this Invoker.
Tower is under attack. Must I repeat myself? Dire's structures are fortified. They are Radiant's bottom
Finally having something. We'll see what this final fight, what is going to be brought here. God King very far forward. Does he have the gas to find a kill? D-Stone's going to get brought down solo by Old 11. No buyback available for the Invoker, and therefore no Cataclysm. The Meme Hammer onto Old 11. He doesn't die because DY buys the space with the Impale to allow him to retreat. Come back in from PYW with the disruption. Look where these heroes are. Caught in the corner. They can't do anything. The God King. Spectral Daggers out. Flyby can't do anything. DY yet again. 2 heroes caught with his Impale. This Nyx Assassin. DY has just been on point this game. Truly has been something else. Old 11 still not dead. Red Panda finally back online. And VG Gaming started that push 4v5. They knew there would be no buyback on Red Panda. And, oh, jump back in. They find Flyby. Flyby is gone again. No buyback. What are they doing on RNG? What I can tell you what they're doing. They're losing this game. Red Panda might throw in the Hail Mary Chronosphere. Won't even be able to get it off. Loses his life. The God King follows him into the grave. And that's going to be that. GG, well played is called. VG Gaming. Come away with the dub. Come away with the victory. Woo! I mean... Yeah. I mean, look. To be serious and to be fair, VG outplayed them in so many respects. And this all started at the beginning of the game. This started in the laning phase. I actually want to go back here. Let's see the overview. And this is where all of this started, right? Oh, it doesn't show a CS. Crap. If this showed us the CS at this particular point in time in the game, like the first 10 minutes, let's take a look at the net worth, right? The reason the Spectre's at the very bottom is because of how well the Night Stalker is doing to continually and reliably control the lane. Sure, PYW is not there, you know, so he's not applying the additional pressure from the Shadow Demon, but Old 11 is a better laner, it seems, than the God King in this instance, or with this particular matchup, and he demolished him. Got everything he wanted out of the lane. Spectre pretty much didn't have a game until like 20 minutes later. Took so long for Spectre to recover from this horrible start. I mean, when did she find her first item? Jeez, look how late that is. Like the first Echo Saber at 14 minutes. She finishes off the Yasha at 18. It's like, yeah. Great game from Vici. Great control from the laning phase. Afterwards as well, they played really well with Poyoyo. Very rarely was Poyoyo ever seen, basically. You only ever saw this Drow Ranger when he's coming in to give you the final right click. Instead, all you're seeing is Ori bouncing in your face with Old 11. That double blink, my god. And DY played magnificently. But crucially, the real reason they lost as well is that RNG drafted a combo lineup. If you don't get the combos off, the lineup is pointless, honestly. And unfortunately, the combos never really came in the order and the fashion they needed them to. So it ultimately ends up going very badly for the side of RNG. They never really got the Chrono Aghanims combination right. The idea was there. Interestingly enough, the combo that worked very well, and one I can see them picking again. Next time, maybe leave Red Panda out of this with the Faceless Void, but Hoodwink, Sand King, Invoker was legit. And I would actually like to see more of that. A different hero, perhaps, for the Faceless Void, in terms of... This didn't feel like it did anything, this hero, the whole game, despite having a Chronosphere. There was one instance when they caught Poyoyo in the mid lane. That was kind of cool, but you can't pick a hero just for that. So, Vici on through into the upper bracket final, where they're going to play against the side of Team Aster. On the other side, RNG, they will drop down to the lower bracket. Play the hard road. They play either against Team Magma or Invictus Gaming. We don't know who, we don't know which. Don't necessarily know just yet. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, but I probably am, that they play up against the side of Team Magma. But of course, those answers will come in time. I'm not sure when we resume the tournament, but I do know that we are concluded for the day. So thank you, everybody, for hanging out with the homie, for chilling with me the last several hours. Despite the interesting things that have happened with the game dropping halfway through, which is kind of hilarious. Not ultimately, though, nonetheless, good day, I think. Fun day. And congratulations to Vici Gaming. They go through. Congratulations to Team Aster. For RNG and IG, let's see what you got tomorrow or the day after. I'm not exactly sure when. For now, though, we are signing out here. Your boy is done. Your boy is finished for the day. I'm going to go relax now and enjoy the rest of my Sunday. Thank you, everybody who pulled through today. Shout out to you if you followed today for the first time. I really do appreciate it. Shout out to Johnny for the bits once more. Shout out to Ginger for throwing out those subscriptions. Really do appreciate it, comrade. Shout out to Jeeves for the big raid. Shout out to Halberd for the raid as well. And yeah, just an all around, y'all did the most. Everybody was out here, and I really, really do appreciate it. So thank all of you for your presence, for your kind words, for your attention. And thank you all for the follows. And I'll see you in the future as we continue on the channel. You want to make a bit more of your appreciation known, you can also decide to make a young one-time donation, which is also greatly, greatly appreciated. But decide that just your presence is good enough. Thank you so, so much. Love y'all, and I'll see you later. I'll see you later. Is peace out. RNG Elephant, IG Magma. Wonderful. Thank you, Yo, you see, we even got a secretary out here. Shout out, Jareen. Thank you, fam. The information peddler. Always pulling through at the right time, at the right moment. Thank you so much, G. And yeah, thank you for keeping me company as well through chat, even though other people had to do other things. I really, really do appreciate it. So we're done for now. We will return. iLeague continues. Vici Gaming, well done. RNG, get good. I'm kidding. Bye, everyone. See you later. Peace out.